SoundCloud music. Guys, you guys back here again with this is episode 143. Oh, I'm fucking up. Welcome back to the place where nothing is safe. This is episode 143. You know, if you're a kid in the 90s or you had a pager back then, you know that's the code, right?
I love you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
143637. I love you always and forever.
Wow.
I knew all the codes.
I knew all the codes.
I didn't.
In elementary school, I had the little pagers. Elementary school.
I didn't know about 143 until what?
You better
I was a freshman.
Oh, I was about to say. I thought you were gonna say.
Well, fuck, I'm lame because I didn't know 143 until fucking Ray J made the song.
That's what I was about to say. I was
well,
like,
I'm late to the party.
I learned from Music Soul Child.
I learned from Ray J. Fuck that. Yeah, Mr. Norwood, you good in my book. You created the Kardashians, if you ask me. But man, you know me. I'm your host, yours Marco, and I'm with.
It's your guy, M Easy.
It's your girl, Miss Nessa, aka Blaze your mommy.
And we have a guest with us, man. We have Real J Wallace pulling up, man. Thank you for coming through.
Thank y'all for allowing me to have this platform.
Oh man, so what's up, man? How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. You know, I just got off of work. I'm trying to be creative, and I'm writing in my passion planner.
Oh, that's good, man.
Yeah, and I just learned what 143 meant.
Like right now.
See, we learn something new every day.
Yeah, so that was the first thing that went in my pattern.
You gonna start sending some 143 text messages to your girl?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if she know what they mean.
Yeah, see if she could decode it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's funny.
Man, so how was your guys' weekend?
It's cool, man. Filled with a lot of rain.
Well, that still beats a polar vortex.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, you know, definitely. You know, I had to check on my my relatives out there in the Midwest, making sure they didn't freeze to death out there. You know,
it's crazy.
You know, fly out there this week.
-30, -25.
When do you leave?
Thursday. I fly
Wind
out there.
chill. It's nasty out there. You better bundle up. You better bundle up.
Oh, I can't wait. It'll be like a reunion.
Hey, we all going on tour, huh? I just came off a tour. You going on tour? You going on tour the end of this month, right? Or next
month,
beginning of
I'll be going to Puerto Vallarta. So yeah. You just came from there, right?
I did.
How was it?
It was alright.
It was alright.
All right.
It was alright.
It was just alright. You know, I just get to go to Mexico.
I just came from Mexico and I'm ready for some taco shop. Let's just say that.
Oh wow.
Wow. Oh, so you
wait a minute.
So you didn't hold on. Wait a minute.
That's a bold
Y'all thought
statement.
she was finished. She was just in Mexico and then she wants some more dishes.
Meek Mill.
Not just anything. She said she just came from Mexico and she wants taco shop from here.
So she's like SD taco shops overall.
Is better? Is that what you saying?
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Better than the motherland of Mexico.
To be honest, I didn't eat too much out there, but the only thing that I really liked was the lobster. Like, I really wanted to eat lobster out there, and I ate some the other day, and that was bomb. But yeah, someone had said I was boring because I was eating like nachos and stuff, and I'm just like, dude, it's
You ain't trying to get swamp ass, huh?
shit.
Trying to get mud butt.
Man.
You gotta fuck around and eat something bad. Vacation down the toilet.
Yeah, you just eating rice.
Right.
Leave a little swaz on the toilet seat.
Ew.
Drinking their version of what's that? Pedialyte. They got their own little.
Oh, they do. I did.
They got their own version of Pedialyte down there in
I did see
Mexico.
somebody had that, and I was like, "What is that?"
Yeah, man. I remember I went there for Rosarito. They have their own little version of Pedialyte. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, they got that down in the barrio too.
Oh, they
picked it
do?
up, I was like, wait, what is this?
Yeah.
This is
$250? Okay, I'm sold.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
cheaper than the original. Fuck it.
different. Yeah, it tastes a little different, but it's good.
Yeah, but the weather was beautiful, of course, compared to here. I heard it was like back to raining and flooding and stuff. So I'm just like, dang.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was supposed to stop raining today.
No, it's gonna stop raining tomorrow. So
Yeah.
by the time you hear this podcast, it should brighten your day, and then when you look outside, it should be no clouds in sight.
I hope.
Look
man.
at God, if you believe in Him. What else I was about to say? Just a quick discussion question: is it safe to say that Tom Brady's the Thanos of the NFL?
Nah, I think Belichick is the Thanos of the NFL.
or Brady is the Darth Vader and what's that? If Belichick's the Sith Lord, is that more like it?
Yeah.
Because he has the hoodie on.
Yeah, he's out there doing the work. He has to go,
Yeah,
I just don't like them.
you just don't like him.
Yeah, I don't even watch football like that.
That's
but
MAGA's team. How can you not like
yeah,
MAGA
I
team?
see it in his eyes. And nah.
You know what's the crazy thing about it? Someone pointed out on Snoop Dogg. They say, how you gonna diss Kanye West, but you're kicking it with Robert Kraft, who's a known Trump supporter. But the thing about Robert Kraft that perplexes me, one moment he's like super MAGA, next thing you know he's hanging out with Meek Mill and talking about prison reform. I think there's a side to everybody, and Kanye was kind of doing the same thing, but just not as articulate as other people would like him to be.
Yeah.
So,
and there's a few people that can get away with like doing crazy things.
Yeah.
And that's Snoop Dogg and Erykah Badu. Everybody like instantly forgive them because they so cool.
yeah.
Like, you can't keep hating Snoop Dogg or keep hating Erykah Badu. It's like, oh, that's Erykah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's love, even though that's crazy. That's crazy.
So I guess none of y'all watched the Super Bowl. I was the only one.
No, I watched it.
Oh, you watched it?
did.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched the Super Bowl.
So till 2 out of 4. Okay.
Yeah, I only watched highlights here and there.
So because the Super Bowl just hit a 10-year low in ratings.
Yeah, I seen that.
People were I think people were rocking their I'm with Cap jerseys
Nice.
and not watching the Super Bowl.
That's what's up.
And don't worry, y'all didn't miss much. That Super Bowl was fucking trash.
I bet.
It was horrible. I was like, what the fuck is this? What in the fuck is this? And the game sucked. Halftime, the only highlight you got to see was like SpongeBob introducing Travis Scott.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, they petitioned for the SpongeBob to be in the halftime. So that was like,
Okay.
the
What?
halftime show was horrible.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
seeing
what I was
like Adam
hearing.
I
Levine,
heard.
yeah, Maroon 5. I'm like,
I ended up watching the Michael Jackson one on my phone. With my
oh, when he was at the
Yeah.
Rose
I
Bowl.
was like, look at this. It's just one man and he killing it.
Right.
Like,
The best recent halftime show in modern times, I would have to say Bruno Mars, Beyonce. They still killed it.
I didn't see the Bruno Mars, but he usually kills whatever he touches.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bruno
he's
Mars killed
pretty good performing.
it. Did you enjoy any of the commercials?
I didn't.
Oh,
No.
they had a Game of Thrones Bud Light commercial. That one was dope. And then the NFL 100 commercial. Those were the best two. best
NFL
commercials.
100 one was hilarious.
Yeah.
Where they was throwing around the golden football.
Yeah.
And it was like everybody was at like a dinner kind of thing.
yeah, like a formal dinner.
It was hilarious, dude. It had all the Hall of Famers in there.
I
What
missed
was
that
it?
one.
The commercial was like
That's what I was
it was a
about to say.
commercial,
yeah.
Was there any good Super Bowl?
Those were like
commercial?
two. The
Two.
Game of Thrones one and then like the Super Bowl 100. Like
And there seemed to
celebrate.
be a theme with the commercials. Like every Super Bowl has a certain theme with it. One time it was like all like websites. It was like www dot blah blah blah. This one, it seemed like every commercial was trolling.
Oh, troll marketing is the end.
Where it was like, oh, what is the commercial about? And then, oh, it's about some other shit.
yeah.
And that seemed to be the theme. Like, I didn't like it, but I was at a party. People at the party loved it. They was trying to guess what the commercial was.
Oh, okay.
As they were watching it.
The
I think-
Mercedes one was okay. I saw that one where the guy said he says something and it happens. He was like, turn the light be green. light turned green, and like everything was like going his way. Everything he says. So that one was like okay, but man, just a friendly reminder.
You didn't like the Avengers commercial?
Oh no, the Avengers. Well, it was on the docket. It was a Super Bowl TV spot.
Yeah,
but it did sound like a bitter X type of line. It's like, you know, some people move on, but we don't.
What?
That's what Captain America said.
Wait a minute, what?
That's what Captain America said. He said some people move on, but we don't. And I'm like, hey, nigga, like Thanos whooped y'all asses, man. He snapped.
Yep.
And you know, honestly though, the Earth looked a little bit more peaceful though.
Don't do that.
It did look a little bit more peaceful since after the people died. I'm like, maybe Thanos was right all along. Maybe he was right all along, but people were like, man, fuck that. You need to bring T'Challa back.
Well, I'm pretty sure the government was happy. You know, population control, whatever.
Oh yeah, exactly.
They're like, oh yeah, good.
Yeah. Thanos is all about that Agenda 21 life. You know what I mean?
What the hell?
He's all about the Agenda 21. So let me just find that little. Here. Here's a 30-second ad.
Some people move on, but not us.
See? Some people move on, but not us. Doesn't that sound like a bitter ex right there? Boyfriend or girlfriend? Damn.
Or somebody lost in a fight.
But either or, it sounds bitter. Look, like Captain America looks bitter. He's like, look, like Thanos got these motherfuckers in an AA meeting.
Stupid.
You dumb.
I survived the snap meeting. So, you know, that should be on Lifetime. Lifetime. Surviving Thanos.
Oh my god.
The
Coming
first
soon.
step is admitting
You're
or
so-
accepting.
He took my stone.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
He snapped my friends away.
Yo,
Half of them.
Jordan Peele could probably make it sound scary.
If you make I got 5 on it to sound creepy.
Yeah.
So good.
Yo, if you got my boy, it's Real 85 that makes Seems Like You Ready like a creepy video. Sound like a creepy song. I'll show you the video. It's a video called K. Relly, and it's a parody horror film of R. Kelly, basically. And the dude like really slowed down Seems Like You're Ready and made it sound like a real creepy song. I was like, this dude is a great creative. And he did it off of a Grand Theft Auto. He made a sketch off of Grand Theft Auto 5 online.
Wow.
Yeah, very creative shit. So it could sink you in, man, for real. Like you watch all his videos, like fuck, man, I'm supposed to be asleep, but it's 3 a.m. and I got work at 6. Fuck. Oh man. But anyway, man, I think we all warmed up. So, Real J, would you like to let our fans know, well, not our fans, our listeners, or however you want to call them, Jiggers, the squadron, let them know who you are, what you're about, and then we'll get into these segments.
Yeah, let's get into this. I guess I should. I'm gonna just eat my gum.
He's gonna eat my
I'm just gonna eat my
You
gum.
You sure you don't? I mean, I could get a napkin.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's all good. My name is Ramel, or I go by Real J Wallace. I'm my mama's son. I'm a little bit odd, and so I figured over the years that my online persona, I guess, doesn't really match how I am on my day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing music for 10 years. I met y'all kind of through the music and streetwear scene.
Yeah.
I was a hype beast back in the day.
Oh,
and,
so was I. I had my hype beast days.
Oh, yes. I loved it. I would go out and get all the clothes and mostly meet all the people, and I was really attracted just to community through some type of design. Mm-hmm. And so that attracted me to hip-hop. That attracted me to other communities and nonprofits. And so I've been working in nonprofits for like about maybe 3 or 4 years, just volunteering a lot of time so I can meet other communities. Whenever you go out and you're inside of the culture, you meet different types of people. And that was always the most inspirational thing for me, I guess, creatively.
Yeah.
I'm born and raised in San Diego.
Okay, so you're a true and blue San Diego native.
Yes, I know everything that's wrong with us because I'm one of us.
I mean, if you care to share, what do you think was wrong with us? Because you're one of us. So.
I mean, one of the things, being from San Diego, we're chill. That's one of the things that we describe somebody.
No sense of urgency.
Yeah, that's like a good. When you say somebody's chill in San Diego, that's like means like almost to the equivalent of they're a good person.
Yeah.
It describes us, and we become a reflection of our environment. You know, the weather never changes, and sometimes we're almost like that. We're in this mode where we're a little bit static, and we're fine with that because we're in paradise. Mm-hmm. And so the paradise is a bit of a fallacy. There's real things that are happening, but we're paralyzed by the beauty of everything. And so we just kind of go through our day to day, just living and loving life, and not really seeing how detrimental it might be, or even on the other side, how beautiful it could be if we go beyond that and are as ambitious as possible. Mm. And so us San Diegans, as a San Diegan born and raised, really taking one of our main ingredients, which is people from other places. Mm-hmm. People from Chicago, people from overseas come over here, people from New York, and they bring a different energy. And if we as the natives kind of move off that energy, or like y'all was talking about y'all going on all these tours and everything. I never been on a tour. That's awesome.
That's just our way of saying we're just traveling.
Yeah, we're just going on a vacation.
Going out of town. We're going on tour.
We're going on tour.
That's our little lingo.
I wish we went on tour.
Right?
No, we're going to be on tour. Yes. I don't care if it's a 3-city California tour. If we gotta go
start somewhere.
If we go to Modesto, California, and the Barstow. And you know, Hayward, I don't care. If you want us there, we here.
Right.
You know?
Gotta speak it into existence.
Paris, California.
Shit. Menifee.
If I went to UK, I would be telling everybody I'm going to see the Queen. You just gotta figure it out.
I'm like, dog, I'm about to get knighted. What are you talking about, man?
I'm about to get
I'm gonna be Sir Lord Yoas Marco. What are you talking about?
You stupid.
All right, man. So that's good, man. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get into the Nothing Is Safe segment. I'll try to make it quick because we want to talk to you and get to know you a little bit more. But at the same time, let's have some fun with it with these segments. All right. So no further ado, the Nothing Is Safe segment. All right, man. Talk of the town. Talk of Black Twitter. Black Facebook, Black online, anything black on black.
Blackity black.
And it's Black History Month. Jussie Smollett's story. Is it a hoax, or do you think everything that went down the way it was told?
I just want to say for the people, Jussie Smollett is one of the guys that is an actor from the show Empire.
Yes.
He plays one of the sons. That's actually the singer.
He's the son of Lucius ass, lying ass nigga, man. Why you gotta go out and beat up on my son like that, man?
How y'all gonna touch Jussie, man?
All my son was looking for a foot long, man.
Oh my god.
He just wanted a foot long.
Hello.
We still talking about sandwiches,
right?
man?
I don't know, man. I don't know if it was a sandwich or something else, man.
So stupid.
Intentions can change the dynamic of the situation real quick.
Hey, word around town is.
What's the story? I've only read the headlines. I don't know what the story is.
Okay, so this is what it's been told, that he went to a 24-hour subway to get something to eat in the blistering cold of Chicago
around like 2 in the morning.
2 in the fucking morning from his apartment condominium place, something like that in downtown Chicago. Mm-hmm. And allegedly he got attacked by 2 men. They were I don't know if they were described as white men, but word has it that he got a noose around his neck, his ribs got bruised, and they said this is maggot country.
They're throwing like bleach or something on him.
Yeah, supposedly there's bleach.
Allegedly there was bleach. You're gonna throw. I don't know how cold it was, but word has it that bleach freezes at 20 degrees.
Yeah.
So how you gonna pour bleach on someone at fucking cold? I don't know, man.
Yep.
You see, that's one hole in the argument. I'm like, how can that happen? And how could they recognize him? He probably had to take all his stuff off, his scarf, his beanie. You know, like you got to be bundled up. You looking like an Eskimo out there. Like people don't know, people don't understand. Like it is cold out there in the Midwest. It's rivaling Antarctica right now.
So was they like walking around with all that stuff, like just hoping that a black person would just pop up, or like?
Yeah, I mean, and then also like there was a creepy letter that got sent to Fox in Chicago, kind of like that letter that Edward Nygma wrote to Bruce Wayne in Batman Forever with the magazine cutout.
I was about
letters
to say,
and
they
stuff
sent
like
him
that.
a riddle? What the fuck?
You know, but that was one of the things, you know, to bring light to it. Like, well, he had threats, so people were plotting on him. But at the same time, it's like, why would you wait to 2 a.m. in the morning? Like, you have to have some extreme hatred for a person to be out there in Chicago at 2 a.m. in the morning in the blistering cold after a man got a foot long and you just want to beat him up and put a noose around his neck? And like, are there any rope marks? Did they try to choke him, or they just beat him up and just nicely put the noose on him? And he didn't take off the noose because he felt like he left the noose on his neck for like 42 minutes after the incident. And you know, like Joe Budden said, and I was thinking to myself too, it's like, as a black man in America, I'm not leaving no fucking noose on my neck. I don't give a fuck. Hell no.
Well, was it because he was just all like worn out, or like?
No, he said he didn't want to remove it because of tampering with evidence or anything like that.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking, like a proof type of thing.
Yeah, and then also like he wanted to corrupt. You know, the police was like, well, you gotta help us with the investigation. So you know, he was like, nah, you guys could look up my phone records, but I'm not gonna give you my phone. It was like,
what?
Wait, what in the world?
Because he said he was talking to his manager while the attack happened. So like the police were like, help me help you, nigga. Like, give me your phone, so we could, you know, intercept the conversation. But you're not willing to do that. And then the police, you know, checked out all the surveillance because in downtown Chicago there's cameras everywhere.
Yep.
Like Manhattan, as they say.
Yep.
It's cameras everywhere.
See that flashing blue light by the freaking stop traffic light? It's a camera up there.
There's cameras everywhere, and they couldn't find no footage.
Are you serious?
No footage. All they had was like a picture of the alleged two men, and they're not even suspects. They're people of interest because you don't know if they were. And how would you know if they were white? Because, like I said, it's cold. Like people are bundled up.
Yeah. You ain't running around with no gloves on and your face showing. Not in the cold.
Not that cold. Not in that cold. So like there are some things that are not adding up to me about that story. Am I being insensitive towards people who've been gay bashed before? No. Gay bashing sucks. Like, y'all, it's 2019. Motherfuckers still gay bashing. Y'all need to grow up. Let people be who they are and mind your business.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about them.
Yeah, we're not being dismissive.
Yeah, we're not being dismissive at all. I'm just saying there are some things that just don't add up to me, and I would like to see some visual evidence. Because lately, I don't know, you guys heard about the Jasmine Barnes story, right?
No, I
The
didn't hear
one with
about
the
that.
kids.
Yeah, the little girl, God bless her soul, she passed away. The people said that it was a white supremacist that did it, but it turned out it wasn't. It was one of our own.
Yeah, it was like a gang related.
Yeah, it was gang related.
Oh my God.
So that's what I'm saying.
Wow, this is the future right now. This is the future because white people used to always say it's a black guy. Now we're at the point where we say it's a white person that did it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We jumped to that conclusion.
I don't know if that's good.
Are we,
I don't think it is.
So like it seems like now, like since the tide has turned, you could weaponize being a victim. You could use it as a weapon now.
Like it is the time of jumping to conclusions. Like I remember, recently I responded to some chick on Twitter when Chris Brown got accused of raping a girl.
Oh yeah, out there out there in France, right?
Yeah, accused. It wasn't official, right? Mm-hmm. She's already jumping to conclusions. Well, his background says this and this and this. I'm like, well, you shouldn't judge him from his background. You should reserve your judgment until it's officially, on paper, and we all know for sure before you start like dogging this dude for this particular situation. Mm-hmm. She didn't respond to me, but come to find out that it wasn't true. Whatever he did, it wasn't true.
And he made merch about it too.
Yeah.
That bitch lying. You could go on. Yo, can you imagine now, like in the Me Too era, and you wear a shirt saying that bitch lying?
That's so bad. That's so bad.
It's just me.
Go ahead, remember.
I just see him as meeting one extreme with another. So
I don't know. Now I think he did it after he made those shirts. Now I think he did it. Before I was like, oh, you don't know. You can't just accuse him. But then he gonna make the shirts.
Yeah.
If that was my cousin,
taunting his innocence.
Yo.
Or that's like OJ saying, yeah, I did it.
But what if I did?
Yeah, he made a book. What if I did it?
What if I did kill
And
her?
then you got R. Kelly in the interview talking about how, as far as teenagers, how old we talking
Oh
about?
my God.
that's crazy.
You know?
I mean, because technically,
Yeah.
I tried to defend him. I tried. Because technically 18 is a teen
But
number.
that's not a time for a joke.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
not.
a joke, and that is not the time.
It's not. I think he was serious, though. I think he was
You
serious,
had to be
dude.
joking. You had to be joking.
Oh, man. Man, it's some cringe-worthy moments, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, it doesn't add up to me, you know. So I don't know if people will say, "Oh, fuck you, Marco," because you're being insensitive. I'm like, no, like, you know, that's a double whammy. He's black and he's gay. So of
Yeah.
course, like the liberal media is gonna be like, "Oh my God, are you okay, Jussie? Are you okay?" Like he had a show in L.A. and word has it, his show in L.A. before the event wasn't sold out. Lo and behold, it sold out.
So
Lo and behold, the algorithms for Empire, the ratings for Empire might go up.
It will.
Empire, because Empire was kind of on the decline. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if this is all a conspiracy from Lee Daniels to make this shit look like, yo, like we need something quick.
As an artist, or I guess creative, or in the entertainment realm, now it's that question that you have to ask yourself: if you want a bigger audience, what are you gonna do? What morals are you gonna cross that don't represent you necessarily, but represent your strive to want that bigger audience? Because it seems like you got to be out there like that. You got to be out there yelling at somebody on like an IG live or something, or start some shit, or just put all your business, all your family business, everybody business out there.
It's messy.
It seems really messy, and a lot of artists are asking themselves, like, do they want to do that? And in that time period, they're probably not even creating anything.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like an Andre 3000 is probably looking at the game like,
Because like in the music industry, nothing happens by accident. As far as like beef or anything, because you know, like, okay, someone must have an album coming out. You acting like a damn fool. Something's about to happen. You know, people just don't do shit just to do it, especially in that industry. There were two different rumors, two different possibilities besides him, you know, getting attacked by racists, homophobic bigots. One of them was that he frequents a gay nightclub out there in Chicago. People know him. He's well known out there. He was flirting with another nigga's nigga, and the homeboy didn't like that. He like, you fuck with my nigga, me and my niggas gonna come jump you. That's one possibility. The other possibility, word has it, that he's been on Grindr. Do you guys know what Grindr is?
Yeah, we know what Grindr
Okay,
is.
for the audience who don't know Grindr is the gay Tinder, basically. And that's how gay men get set up on Grindr. Oh yeah, meet me here. Yeah, we'll go on a date. You get set up. But I think the first one that a lot of people have been talking about, I don't know if it's true, because it's a bad game of telephone. You say one thing, get lost in translation, see what happens. But I wouldn't be surprised if either of those other two things are true. I could imagine like the jealous boyfriend at 2 a.m. That makes more sense.
Drinking that dark liquor.
Drinking that brown liquor, nigga, like, oh, you trying to get at my man? I'm gonna fuck you up.
was his face messed up?
He had like a little cut under his eye. Like when I looked at it, I'm like, he was brutally beaten. I'm just like, nah, that pales in comparison to Rihanna. No joke. You know, Like when I think about like like when they talked about the Chris Brown Rihanna thing, and I was like, man, let me see how bad Rihanna. Oh shit, like when I looked at Jussie Smollett, I'm like, okay, he looks a little swollen, a little cut under his eye, and he did say at the show that he did fight back. So because I was about to say like, nigga, do you just let them beat you up? He's like, no, okay, you fought back, okay, cool,
Jussie protected his face. Jussie got hands, probably.
Yeah, because I'm about to say, like, man, don't tell me you just sit there and let them niggas beat you up. And people saying it's MAGA country because he's very outspoken about the black community, and he's very anti-Trump, so that it makes it an easy fit in for the story. Mm-hmm. But I hope in further development that there's evidence that I can actually get behind on him, because I do want to support him, but from what I've been seeing lately in the media, how people weaponize victimhood, I just can't get quite behind it. And that hurts as a black man. Can say, and I have to say, oh man, I gotta look into the facts, because I don't know these days. I don't know who's telling the truth or not. And that's what I'm rooted on. I want to know the truth. I want to know the facts. So that's all I got to say about the situation. Anybody want to put a button on it? Because we got another Nothing is Safe.
Well, for me, when I first heard about it, I put a little post out there.
Yeah.
Saying I'm hope the best for him or whatever.
Speedy recovery.
Yeah, and then when all these other stuff started coming out showing some inconsistencies, I'm like, all right, well, I'm still praying for him.
Yeah.
Whether it's because it really happened or he's searching for, some type of publicity
stunt.
So I'm praying for him in that regard. Like, all right, man, I hope you can, soul search and do a better job with certain stuff like that instead of having to go that route.
Because if it turns out to be a farce, that's his career. That's good. There goes credibility right there. There goes empire right there. So they gotta do whatever they gotta do. Hopefully that is true. But if it's a lie, they gotta make this the beautiful lie. This gotta be the best fucking lie. So they gotta lie to themselves.
Pretty crafty.
Damage
control can happen.
They are actors. It is a production company. This all could have been a setup.
Yeah, they could say they were shooting and then it was a misunderstanding and it was something that's happened to Empire.
He's a singer, actor, and activist.
Okay, well, because you're saying like his show wasn't sold out, so like he was
Performing,
on
tour.
yeah,
Performing, singing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right.
Everybody love him from his music on Empire.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't watch Empire.
Yeah, because after every season they drop a mix like a mixed album or a compilation. Yeah.
Yeah. Another one, man. Your boy Shad Moss, aka Bow Wow, had a mugshot that he looked like he just got into a fight with X-23, and lived to tell the story about it. Word has it that he and his ex got into an altercation. Obviously, he didn't decide to defend himself in a physical manner because he believes strongly that a man should never hit a woman. But it's funny. I got my jokes off on Twitter.
What were those jokes?
Yeah, what'd you say?
I said it looked like he was fighting X-23. Because he had,
I would have said Lady Deathstrike because
Lady Deathstrike, X-23.
X-23 got the two claws.
Okay, so yeah. Lady Deathstrike, X-23, Catwoman, Vixen, who else? Melina, if she tried to bite him. Princess Katana, Elektra, anyone who has sharp objects. Any woman who has sharp objects.
Wonder Woman's one of her enemies.
Cheetah.
Cheetah.
Fighting Cheetah. He was fighting something, with sharp objects. And, like I said, I'm sorry, Bow. I had to get my jokes off. But it's no laughing matter because domestic violence against men is very overlooked.
All the time.
People comparing mugshots between his face and Rihanna. It's like, this is funny, but this isn't.
Yeah.
Why is that? But let's talk a little bit about the men's rights in domestic violence. If anyone have anything to chime in on
I don't know. I do think it's funny. I think it's pretty funny. I would at least be able to hold a woman down.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that. Like, we're looked at as like, we should be held to a regard where we should be able to defend ourselves from getting X23 like that.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
at least protect your face. Like, come on,
learn
dog.
some head movement. I don't think. Well, maybe she was fast. Who knows? She might have some quick hands on
Hey
me.
man, look.
Maybe she has some
Get the
quick
hell out of
hands.
there. I don't know what to say.
Hey, some
Like,
females
run away
are,
from her.
are crazy and like they.
She hit the nigga with a lamp. I read the story.
She hit him with a lamp?
Shit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
She busted a lamp on his head.
Oh damn!
It's not just the picture; it's like what his eyes are saying in the pictures.
Oh, what his eyes are saying.
It just looks like he's saying like, "Really, nigga, y'all gonna take a picture of me right now? Like right now, y'all gonna do this?"
Yeah. They
Like, he
probably
knew
asked
what
him
was gonna
if
happen.
you wanted some peroxide or something. You want some peroxide, man? You
You know,
good?
just like a little Neosporin.
But I can't laugh at him too hard because that happened one time when I had picked up my cousin. No, I was dropping him off at his girlfriend's house. And I didn't ask no questions. I was just like, "Oh, you need to get dropped off." So I took him down there, and like right when we got to the front of the like apartment complex, it was really like a store. I don't know if they lived in the store or something. She came running out, and he opened up the door, and she started just wailing on him. Bow, bow, bow. Door halfway open. I'm trying to drive away, but I'm not. I'm like,
like, drive away.
Yo, that
Damn.
was the definition of on site. Like,
Right? Hey, some females they really be about it.
but
Damn.
I mean, come on. As a man, I mean, let me just speak for myself, and I don't think I've been that bad. We're pretty fucked up, guys. We're pretty fucked up.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to start the fight.
Yeah.
That's the information that I need, because sometimes people deserve to get slapped in the face.
And that's what men always say in defense of domestic violence. If a man like happens to put his hands on a woman, a man will be like, try to be logical about it or rational about it. It's like, hey, what did she say to piss him off? Because I know women got a tongue on them. Not saying that makes it right, but that's how men will try to figure like, what did she say? What did she do? You know,
It's a complete double standard.
yeah. Now for you know, for now, I want to know that Bow. What the fuck did you do to piss her off? What did you do to make her that damn mad? I want to know.
He probably came in late from the club, and all the lights was off. And
I
she was
heard
waiting behind the door with the lamp.
I heard he's like I heard he's a complete fuck boy on Grown Up Hip Hop.
Yeah,
I heard he's a complete fuck boy.
from what I've seen, certain clips that's been shown after this whole situation. It looked like it was destined to happen. Yeah, and
I remember before, like a while ago, I heard him saying something about having like multiple girlfriends because he can't like just have one, and that whoever he's with is supposed to understand or something. Like this was like a while ago though.
Well, she did not understand.
right,
That didn't
right.
comprehend whatsoever.
Yeah, because on that show, he's trying to explain to her that this is his lifestyle. I don't know about it was necessarily about having multiple girlfriends, but his superstar or being well known.
Yeah.
So
I was like,
interacting with
superstar.
different women and all that stuff, where she wasn't feeling that shit, and he was like, you know, this is becoming toxic. It's like, once you know it's that, get out. Like, don't wait
It's
till
easier-
something happens,
It's easier
dog.
said than done.
Maybe the pussy's good and he just don't want to leave. Maybe the head's good and he
Fuck.
don't want to leave.
All of
Because
that.
sometimes motherfuckers will put up with toxic relationships just because the head is fire or the pussy's fire, or for women because the dick is bomb. I'm just being honest, man. What real?
Have I ever been abused?
No, not having been abused, but can you attest to that? Can you attest to
Have
that? You
you
seen
ever-
homies in some toxic relationships because you know.
I've seen both examples where like a guy might be in a bad relationship because maybe he doesn't think he can get something else, or
Right.
or a woman's in a bad relationship, and at the end of the day, it's insecurities. And,
There you have
and
it.
really, I'm not even qualified to talk about this because the reality of a man getting beat up like by a woman, I haven't even seen that in media anywhere. I haven't really seen that
I'm pretty sure
hands-on continued.
You
Like,
seen that in media? You watch Kill Bill.
the last one I seen is Liza Minnelli's husband.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not. I can't even comprehend that whole thing. It's like a fallacy. It's like some fantasy world where a man is getting beat up. I can't really relate to it. I'd have to see more examples of it to really understand it. And I feel like a lot of people, we just lack of understanding. Like before, a lot of women came out and were like, "Yo, this is what's happening." A lot of us are getting assaulted. I know a lot of guys, they had no clue that was even happening because they weren't really exposed to it. So I would have to be exposed to it to be able to really talk about it for myself. But for me, as someone that's like ignorant to it, at first it's funny.
Yeah,
like, I'm ignorant to it, so it's real funny.
And that's being real because like yeah, it is funny. Like nigga, what the fuck you doing? Get beat up like that?
I mean,
like I remember even from elementary, if you get beat up by a girl, homie, don't you ever come around the table.
Yeah, that's it's embedded in us.
Yeah, it's been like that ever since like elementary school. From then on, to like, dude, you got your ass beat by T-shirt, homie. What the fuck you doing here? Go.
I don't know, man.
Shit, you can't even
speaking from a guy's perspective that
like,
tries to
get
like
crossed
not
up on the court by a girl.
Yeah,
think about it.
Yeah, that was bad.
You know what I'm saying? You couldn't
terrible.
like you couldn't even
if
get.
she did you up, that
Or she
don't come back.
She drained a 3 in your face. All that
Yeah.
shit. Like
I mean,
Some guys will break up with their girl
so,
after that.
Yeah, yep.
if your
straight
girl
up.
beat you in Madden,
Straight up.
pick 6, 21 skunked you. You like nigga, like you know what? I ain't passing the sticks. I'm passing this relationship.
Goose egg.
It's over.
I'm passing this relationship.
Get out.
So it might be more of a sexist thing that the conversation is more sexist than it is like, oh, let's protect men from women. I think I enter the conversation as a sexist.
Yeah.
If that
Yeah,
makes
because
sense.
you know, speaking from like the perspective of a guy that is so strongly on not hitting women and all that, like
Yeah.
they can easily get hands put on them like that. Like
You trying to throw a lamp at me?
She ain't try.
She hit him with the lamp.
And then maybe his reflexes,
Yeah.
Maybe he's
wasn't
on.
ready.
Maybe
like I
maybe
said,
was
he
on
probably
drugs.
came from the club lit, not on his P's and Q's. Lights was off, and she was waiting behind the door. Surprise attack! Like
Well, at least he didn't get hit with the boiling water or the hot grease. Cause some women be doing that. They girls be having the boiling water ready. You thinking like, well, what shit cook? I don't smell no seasoning or nothing.
No
Yeah.
seasoning.
That's the dead giveaway. You just see boiling water.
Yeah.
There's no seasoning, no nothing, no diced up vegetables nearby the cutting board, nothing.
yeah.
But I think,
Oh, yeah, she
I
gonna pour
think
that
some
shit on
guys,
you.
they be like, especially if they really care about the woman and they know they fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they just,
let her get her licks.
yeah. Because it's kind of like that. I fucking deserve this shit. And,
Oh man, I don't know if
I
I'm
don't
gonna let
know.
her slice my face up like that.
well, I'm sure.
I just let her shoot the body, not the face.
Yeah, like go hit somewhere else. Like
Come on, girl. You know I got a photo shoot next day.
you stupid.
He's stupid.
At least protect your face if you gonna get beat up.
Let me
Like,
shoulder roll, nigga. Goddamn. Think
Shoulder
about Floyd, man. Use the shoulder roll.
I think that's fair. If I did something foul to my girl, I'll let her get a couple swings in there.
yeah.
I wouldn't even move. I just square up. Like, don't move. Don't move.
Oh, okay, baby boy.
Right.
Don't flinch.
You know what? One thing out of that whole situation I didn't get though, which I've always had a problem with that, where the police took them both in.
Oh, Bow Wow got
Trying to-
arrested first.
Yeah, trying to
got
say
taken-
they can't determine who started it or who was the
Yeah,
aggressors. Like, are you kidding me?
The one without the scratches.
It's like, are you kidding me?
That's
You
fine.
can't figure it out.
That's fine police work there, Atlanta. It's fine police work. Like,
I don't know. People got to put themselves in better positions. Like, my girlfriend would never beat me up. I would never. I could see it coming from 100 miles away, and I
Yeah.
would just stop
Yeah,
doing whatever I'm doing to about to be punched in the face in 100 miles.
yeah.
I just stop. Why people like to push something and put themselves in bad predicaments.
Yeah.
You got to be able to realize when something, like, you can feel when something about to go down, and then once it go down, you be like, damn, I should listen to myself.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a bad relationship like that, you might be telling that stuff to yourself every day, and not really.
and you're walking on eggshells too. You know, like,
you know.
that's terrible.
That's
See, yeah, that's the sound right there. They had to pick up
Bow Wow.
Shad. Yeah, I mean, it was, yeah. Goddamn.
They transporting them somewhere.
I hope he's okay.
Get well soon, man. Shit, even Jussie Smollett looked at him like, damn, nigga, you got fucked up.
And I got jumped by 2 guys.
I got jumped by 2 guys. You got beat up by a girl, nigga.
You couldn't hold 1 woman, dog.
Oh, shit. Should have told her to bruise your ribs. You couldn't tell.
If I got beat up, nobody would know. I'm not telling no cops. I'm just getting beat up and by myself, and then I'm beating myself.
I'd have fled the scene if I heard cops called, or I'd have left. Like, fuck that.
I'm gone. You're not gonna catch me.
You're not finna take no pictures of me either. No, none of that.
Like, oh man, that's a tough thing, man. Okay, so just a little more since we're in Atlanta, one more time, man. Your boy 21 Savage has been deported.
Officially out of the
not deported, but he's facing deportation. He got arrested by ICE, and turns out that your boy was from the UK for all this long. I thought this dude was really from Atlanta, through and through, born and bred. This motherfucker blended in with goons from Atlanta. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, yo, this dude is probably the best method actor of all time.
Oh my God.
Better than Idris Elba. Damn. He immersed himself as a hood nigga from Atlanta.
That didn't know his father.
That didn't know his father.
That's a good story.
Get that man an Oscar. 21 Savage. I'm not saying he's an actor, no. This is like the best method acting I ever seen in my life.
Yeah, an Emmy. This is a freaking series. It ain't a movie.
Like, this dude was The Wire before The Wire. After The Wire.
But they say he was like born in like the Caribbean or something like that.
Yeah,
and he's owned by the UK.
Yeah.
I don't know. That it came out that his father is a doctor in the UK.
Dang, his father was a doctor, yo. Yo, 21 Savage is a very interesting cat now, man. Shout out to Sir Savage the 21st.
Oh my God.
You stupid.
With some lumps in his tea. I wonder if he likes milk in his tea. That's how they do it out there in the UK.
Tea and crumpets.
Tea and crumpets, that's what they do out there in the Black Mirror world, like Bandersnatch and all that shit.
He should develop 21 crumpets.
Yo, but did you see how motherfuckers
or Savage Tea?
Have you seen how
that would go.
Yo, that's flames right there. Savage Tea. Yo, he can kill it in the UK.
Yeah, he should. That's what he should
God.
do.
His ad libs gonna have to change though. That motherfucker be in the studio talking about skip pop pop.
No.
Is there any way what he's saying? Is there any way it could make sense that it's normal? This is not normal, I know, but like, is there any? This makes no sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
I guess
I can't find anything to make normal out of this.
He was like, man, how many visas you got? A lot. How many passports you got? A lot. Oh man, but yo, just imagine if he would have married Amber Rose, he would have been good.
Did he? Oh, she cheated on him. I heard.
Well, allegedly. But damn,
she got a track record of cheating on niggas, man.
She got a track record. She tried to paint herself as the innocent hoe.
The innocent hoe.
She started the slut walk.
Yeah,
She's like Jesus to the slut walk.
And he was there supporting his woman.
Yep.
He should have known.
With a shirt saying he's a slut.
Saying he's a slut too. Damn.
I wonder how it was said though when you read the shirt. Was it in a UK accent?
Yo, if he does a press conference in a British accent, I'm done. I'm done. But no, man, that's just, we're getting their jokes off, but yes, we understand it is still a serious matter. The man is fighting for his citizenship and his freedom in America. And just to put some I saw this on Twitter, just to put a little insight on it. Let me go ahead and bring that up. Slick Rick, he's from the UK. Mm-hmm. And he had some little battles with finding his citizenship out there in America.
This ain't funny, so don't you dare laugh.
Man.
Stupid.
This ain't Man, he gave us a classic. He gave us a teenage love, man. You know,
This
people.
is about a rapper who took the wrong path.
All right, so they said this one guy, his name is William Ketchum III, and he tweeted,
Sorry.
I was with Slick Rick and his family in 2016 when he took the oath to become a U.S. citizen. Dude went through tons of legal fees, more than a year in deportation prison, and a pardon from the governor of New York, and he still barely made it out. I really feel for 21 Savage today. Damn.
Dang, he said barely in 2016.
Yes.
Damn.
And Slick Rick been here since
Yeah.
like ever. 21. I hope he lower your up.
70s.
I mean, I think 21 has a good chance. He has a better chance than Tekashi getting like a light sentence, even with snitching.
Yeah, given his resume right now, he's
he got.
been doing a lot for the community.
Yeah, he got money, he got assets, he has resources to fight this.
He has a positive.
And he became more woke because he was on that ignorant shit. No one cared. But when he started talking about more conscious shit, government's like, oh, you getting conscious on this?
Investing your money, like
Well,
he started.
No, we can't have that. We can't have that. Let's find some shit on this nigga.
That's why I was like, man, where the fuck was Ice at? How they find out he's from the UK? What the fuck was this coming from?
Someone snitched on him.
Yeah,
hip hop got cops.
Yeah,
Hip hop police.
Hip hop police is a real
I
thing.
don't know if I want to be in a job that got cops at the job.
Specifically for your job. Specifically for your job.
That sounds dangerous.
Yo, so like as an artist, have you ever seen this trend before when like a person who rap about ignorant shit starts to wake up or enlighten themselves, enlighten their crowd? It seems like some funny shit happens every time they make that turn that direction.
I'm listening to him. To me, it still sounds funny. It still sounds
Yeah.
kind of funny. What's his name? Kodak Black.
Yeah.
Turn conscious. Sounds funny to me. I think the cops are looking at them no matter what.
No matter what.
And it seems to be a lot.
So are conscious rappers not exempt either?
No,
from the
conscious
hip-hop?
rappers aren't exempt.
They're looked at even more, huh?
Hip hop music in general, it seems to be like there's definitely cops. And it's kind of scary if you look at all the rappers that got locked up or in some type of criminal system, or even looking back at Tupac, where he didn't get arrested till when he was actually a celebrity. And
Yeah, like they seems like
scary.
they wait.
Yeah.
They just wait for the right time. They're like, nah, we'll let you keep digging a hole.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think Busta Rhymes talked about it in the interview where the hip hop police came to him like, "We watching you," and they just kept it pushing.
Damn.
Yeah. I think it's better. I mean, I'm like I guess a conspiracy theorist. But
We love conspiracy
Yeah.
theories out here.
I think it's a better control method if the person is famous and then gets locked up, especially if they're a famous person of color, because then everybody else sees that, and you got to see it to be it.
So does that remind you of like slavery? Like
Like on some Willie Lynch type of
Yeah,
stuff?
if this nigga out of line, see what we did, this could be you. So you
Yeah.
gotta fall in line, nigga.
Yeah, I think subconsciously
got it.
that seeps through. If you look at all of the older black actors, even and rappers, and it seems like they either get completely silenced. It's not like they stop talking, but you stop hearing their voices. They don't have any type of media outlet or reach like they used to, and I think that's controlled. And I think they like to show the downfall of a lot of these people, like to the masses. It's like, yo, burr, 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 burr. Check this out. He's going to jail. He's going to jail. You going to jail. They going to jail. It's like every couple months somebody's getting out of jail. Or it's good that Meek Mill is going towards the prison reform.
Yeah.
That's the best example that I can see where it's turning out into like change for society. And so I really respect what's going on there. But besides that, I feel like it's a big control method that they're using.
That definitely is the case.
Definitely the case. All right, so let's put a button on it, man, for 21 Savage. Hold your head up, man. I know you fighting for your freedom in the U.S. I know, I would have thought, like, man, the UK can't be that bad. You got your money. Like, if that was the case, if you had to be, if he's facing deportation, my concern is, can he take his assets and his funds and just take it with him to the UK? Or that would be really fucked up if they just say, "Nah, we seizing all your assets and your money,
freezing all that shit,
and you just go to the UK with nothing." You be famous in the UK because you're 21 Savage and you gotta hustle, but damn,
you can tour out there for sure.
Shit, they might try to rob him or something. You know, like god damn, that's tough.
Shit, I've always wanted to go to the UK.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I love their accent.
Yeah, I was gonna try to go next month, but
I'll go there for them.
right.
Go see the Queen, huh?
Yeah, I'll go see the Queen.
Go see the Queen.
United.
Oh, bullocks. Oh, mate.
Dude, when I went to Jamaica last year, everybody there at the resort we were from, or the resort that we stayed at, were from UK or Canada, but the majority were from UK. All black folks.
Yeah. That's tight.
Yeah.
Accents like heavy.
Just one more thing. It wasn't safe for Demi Lovato for chiming in on the.
Oh yeah, Wale had something.
Wale was very nice, but Black Twitter was very unforgiving.
You gotta be some type of
Wow,
stupid
wait.
to tweet that.
Wale was nice.
Yeah, Wale was nice.
He usually
he
doesn't
was.
have a filter.
Wale was nice, but Black Twitter was very unforgiving. They cooked her like she cooked her damn spoon. Like they
You stupid.
killed her.
I
Wait,
can't
yo,
stand
is she
you,
on?
Marco.
She's on crack. Is she on crack?
Or heroin.
She was on heroin.
Oh, okay, I heard people saying crack, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But heroin's not. It's
It's not any better, but
intense. God
Yeah,
damn.
it's another soul snatcher.
I remember her from Disney Channel or Nickelodeon or one of the
Disney
two.
Channel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think you know how they do the Disney where they
yeah,
make the shape of the mouse. I think she
Yeah.
had a spoon.
yeah. Someone put a spoon on it. This is Disney. My name is Demi Lovato, and you listen to Disney. Ooh, this spoon's hot.
A burnt spoon and shit. That's stupid.
Are
Is
we
she
are
dumb
we
enough?
are we drug shaming people? Oh well.
I think we're stupid shaming people. You gotta be some type of stupid to go and say that if you just been through some shit. You better
Yeah,
shut up
she
for
tried
a
to.
while.
Yeah, she
What's
tried.
what's she say?
No, she say it was like the best thing about the Super Bowl is these 21 Savage memes.
Yeah.
She just had memes about her. She just got more memes about her.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're at school and everyone's like clowning that one person and the person who just got clowned
Yeah,
last
like,
month
the
is
heat's
like,
off of me.
he's like, who the heat's off of me? Yeah, and everybody look back at you like,
And she tries to
we didn't
they,
forget-
Right? We didn't.
right.
boy, we didn't forget about
Yeah.
your ass.
They
Why
try
you
to like
fight so
jump
much?
in like, haha, yeah, he is a clown. What?
Yeah, people in the background.
Oh, you thought we forgot about your ass?
Right. If you don't get your ass,
If you
your
don't get your
clown
hot
ass
spoon head ass out of here.
That's funny.
Oh man, shots fired.
you get your syringe scars wearing ass.
Oh my gosh.
Not funny.
That is not funny at all.
Keep popping your arms looking for a vein head ass.
You know what?
Keeping an extra belt with you to tie your arm up, head ass.
You don't shut the fuck up before you get an OD head ass.
That's
Balls
not
of
funny
tinfoil
at
laying around, head ass.
all. Aw,
You old blue magic consuming head ass.
you guys.
We're fucking horrible.
Very.
Yep. Terry Blake.
Going to hell.
We'll meet you there.
If she like crack, she like crack. You know, you do what
Yeah.
you do.
How many?
But she need to.
What the fuck was that? What
I
the
smoke
fuck?
rocks. I forgot to tell you something, Joe Rogan. I smoke rocks. All right, man. So we'll go ahead. Let's get to the NSA, man. Take it away, Kmart.
Damn, son, where do you find this? This the Jig Is Up podcast. That's the service master.
Oop, I messed up.
Impressive beatboxing, right?
Yeah, Ramel should. Real J should just freestyle.
It's not
over.
me. That's K. That's
No.
K. That's Kmart. That's killer.
That's Kmart beatboxing. That's what he
Killer,
love to
man.
do. But all right, Nessa, go ahead, take
That's
it
her
away.
theme music.
Perfect.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Miss Nessa, over here with another NSA. Yeah, very interesting NSA, I must say. Let's see. The last two NSAs, we had some participation from the men who did not know that they were going to be on the show, and the ladies who I've voluntold to be on the show for the most part. Well, at least their responses. So go if you're just now listening to this, episode 141, we asked what the men wanted women to do more of. And the last episode, 142, we asked the women what they wanted men to do more of. Wait, did I say that right? Did I say it right?
Yeah.
I did, right?
Yeah.
Men what women, and then women what they want
Trading
men to
places.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so with this, it's not necessarily obviously in relationship terms, but this is me wanting to tell women what I want y'all to do more of towards each other. You know what I mean? And again, this is off of the relationship topic, but yeah, so okay, for instance, I was having a conversation with Mark, I want to say it was last week, probably.
Yep.
And I was going through some tough times with the situation, and I was at a store and I couldn't hold my composure, and I was crying like my eyes out, and I felt so dumb because I like crying in private. I don't like to cry around people. And I'm sitting there crying, trying to keep my composure, and I'm in front of nothing but women, and they were standing at the thing, you know, I was getting my glasses done, or I was getting my eyes checked, and I was getting like all my contacts and stuff situated. So I was there for a good minute in front of them, crying, embarrassed, but like not one time did they look up at me. Like you could tell they were trying not to look at me and looking the other way, and then when they spoke to me, they were looking down, but not one time they were, you know, asked like, "Are you okay?" or "Is everything okay?" And not that they could fix whatever I had going on, but the fact that they didn't acknowledge that I was really sad or upset or whatever the case may be. I just thought it was weird, because I'm the type of person that if I see anybody crying, I'm just like, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?" Like I even have situations at work where one of my coworkers, she's kind of like standoffish and she doesn't really like talk to people, but like I remember one day I was like working on something and she came in the room. And even though we didn't really like talk like that, like I'm an energy person, so I feel things. So I just walked up to her one day. I was like, "Hey, are you okay? Is everything okay?" And then she was just like, "Oh my gosh, I'm just so tired. And, you know, my husband's gone and this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah." And then, you know, so she just kind of like just vented to me, and then was just like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to." And I was like, "No, it's okay. I asked, you know." And then she was like, at the end of the day, she was like, "You know, thanks for asking. Thanks for asking." And I was just like, wow, you know. So I guess when, you know, fast forward when I was in a situation, and I think I just having to hear another woman kind of like uplift me and just be like, you know, everything's gonna be okay. Like, I don't know what's going on with you, but hope, you know what I mean? Like, just to hear that, I think that would have like helped out a little bit. But it made me question. And again, I was having this conversation with Mark, and I'm like, are some women so like, what was the term I used? Not desensitized or insensitive. What was the term I used? I forgot. But whatever it is, like, I'm just like, are women just like, you know, just kind of like, well, fuck it, you know, it is what it is.
I mean, like emotionally less supportive. Like you feel like you weren't getting support.
Yeah, and it's
emotional support from your friends.
No. They weren't friends. They were
just from just compassionate. Like a compassion, like a
Well,
cause of concern.
Yeah.
Like if you were just crying, like
Yeah.
okay.
So they weren't my friends because they were strangers, but the
Yeah.
fact that they seen it and instead of just acknowledging it or, you know, being compassionate, they just like totally ignored, like from their body language to like looking down to walking around and talking, still trying to have you know, to finish up the transaction without, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was just weird to me. So anyway, so that was that situation. And then the most recent situation was on my actual birthday. So I don't know if some of you guys seen my snap, but every year since my 30th, I do an annual photo shoot and I write a letter to myself, you know, kind of like doing a mini reflection of the previous years and then talk about what I expect for my new year becoming or whatever, right? So I posted my little thing, whatever, and later on that day I get a female in my DMs and she's just like, bitch, you fucking ugly and you look like a whale in your Laker outfit. And I was just like, damn. Like, I've never had someone like go in on me.
Damn.
Yeah, I've never had someone go in on me. And I'm just like, I guess because I love when women empower each other. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when I see people's like posts and, you know, I see comments and everyone's reaction like, come through sis, or oh my gosh you slay, and you don't even have to know the chick, but because she's either like she looking hella bomb, like, you know, you could tell the glow up is real, or just, you know, they just stated that something successful just happened, like just when people like other women empower other women, I'm just like, that's so dope. So I guess just those two situations, I don't know if they correlate with anything that I'm saying, but I'm just like, damn, like, I don't know, I feel like I just feel like maybe I'm a little different, and I just think that more women should acknowledge one another, even if you don't know the person, and yeah, just continue supporting one another. Doesn't matter. You don't have to be. I'm not just speaking to my black sisters. I'm just talking about in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like
sisterhood. I have a sisterhood.
Yeah,
a camaraderie.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Women,
and not saying that you have to like every single person, because that's impossible, I believe. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But if you don't like the person, or if you have something negative to say, unless they're doing something morally wrong that you know disagree with, then okay, speak your voice. But if I'm doing nothing to bother you and I'm like, you don't like how I look, apparently, because everything was more so about my appearance, like why the fact that you had to go on my DMs and it was like in the private thing, obviously I don't know you and I don't fucks with you, so like, you know what I mean? So why make it apparent?
Let me ask you this, what does she look like? Did she have a profile picture?
Yeah, but she's private, so you can't see. Like, it was like, you know, the picture was so far you can't see.
I'd have screenshot that shit and zoomed in.
what was the username?
Oh, I'm not gonna put her out there like this.
Shit.
Why not?
Despite.
Well, let me see it. Let me just.
She's Mexican. I'm just gonna say she's Mexican.
Does she know you?
Oh no.
Yeah, she knows me apparently.
She knows you apparently.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about it later.
I can make it educated guess.
Oh,
we'll talk about it later.
That is.
So okay.
But yeah, but I just thought it was funny how never in your life have you spoke to me, but the one time you want to say something and it wasn't nice, it was on my birthday. Like it was just weird. But we'll talk about that later.
All right.
Not on here. But anyways, so that's pretty much what my NSA is about. Like, let's like what do women want more of our, you know, sisterhood to be like? And I'm gonna flip it and I'm gonna reverse it, like Missy said. No, I'm just kidding. And ask you guys, like, you know what I mean? Because and this is going from kind of the conversation we were just talking about with the domestic violence. Mm-hmm. Like, as men, there's some things that you guys say that it's embedded within you guys, like saying like, oh, you're not supposed to get beat up by a girl, you can't get crossed up by a girl, blah blah blah. But like, what, even if it's just one piece of advice that you have for other men as far as a brotherhood, like, is there anything that you guys want to share?
Well,
or-
well, after I'm done, when I get my new credit from Audible, I'm going to listen to Jason Wilson's book, "Cry Like a Man,"
okay.
where it's about being a emotionally stable person who is not afraid to cry, who's not afraid to convey his emotions, and try to get rid of that whole stigma of like, oh, you gotta be hard and solid as a rock.
Yes.
Because there are moments that we need to shed a tear. There are moments that and not to be frowned upon for doing that.
Yeah.
That is what his teachings are in his book, and through his I gave him a shout out probably like last year. He has this program in Detroit called the Cave of Adullam, where he has young at risk black men from single parent households, mainly single moms, and he teaches them self-defense and martial arts through discipline training, and also while the fact is telling them to emotionally become more emotionally intelligent with themselves, because they just lack guidance. And he's trying to be a mentor for all these young kids out there in Detroit, and especially for young black boys to be better young black men in the future. So I'm definitely gonna listen to his book. That's the next book that I have on my docket. I'm almost done with this David Goggins book, and I'm also listening to Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene.
Okay.
So
that's his latest one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How's that so far?
I haven't finished it. I'm almost done with David Goggins. I got like 30 minutes left.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll get to it, because that Robert Greene.
Yeah.
No, that's what I got 24 hours left on that book, so I got a minute. It's a thick book. If you go to Barnes and Noble and actually see it, you like,
damn, because I was gonna get it
it's a thick ass book.
I have a Mastery and 48 Laws of Power.
Mastery. You got 33 Laws of Seduction.
Oh no, I'm lying. Yes, I do. I just haven't read them yet. But I bought those books so long ago. Yeah. And I have my spurts where, speaking of books, I left my book on the plane.
That's what I left my book on the plane too. I left my The Way of the Superior Man.
Well, people get your audiobooks so you don't leave your book on the plane.
Exactly.
Well,
Audible.
I personally,
ad. This is not an ad.
Or even the digital joints, like through the Kindle. Just don't leave your Kindle.
I love feeling like the paper, but I love the old school. Just like with writing, with music, when I used to write music or even poetry, I like writing it down on paper, and then I'll transfer it onto my phone. But I don't like going digital first. Like, I don't know that I think just the love and respect for like old school way,
authenticity.
Yeah. So with books, like, I love still buying books, like the actual book.
And then another guy to check out his work, Robert Greene's mentee, Ryan Holiday. He has some good books. Ego is the Enemy, Trust Me, I'm Lying. And there's some other ones. Ryan Holiday wrote some dope ass books too. So like, I can recommend them.
Yeah,
dope books.
I usually have the actual paperback or hardcover book and the audio book. Like Amazon, they usually have some deals where you can get both for a decent price.
That's
so
good.
Yeah.
And don't forget to get that Vinny a Love Letter by my boy Ryan Preston Clark.
That was a plug.
Still waiting on my copy.
Does he have an audiobook?
Yes.
Does he?
I think so. I think he does.
Is he working on it? Because he said he wanted to make it mad creative. Like he wanted 3 people to narrate the story, like a child.
Oh, that's gonna take
an
3
adult.
years.
3 years.
Nah, man, my man Ronald can get it done. He can get it done.
Yeah.
Get it done.
What you call it? For my book that I lost, it was about like, becoming financially free, of course. And so whenever something, like, not bad, but whenever something happens, I always try to find the silver lining. So I was just like, well, who knows? Maybe somebody really needed that book on that Mexican ass plane, and
Mexican ass plane.
Mexican ass plane.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
I flew with Volaris, so it's just straight.
Well, at least you didn't fly with Viva Colombia. Have you heard what they're about to do?
No.
They're thinking about wiping out all the seats in their airplane,
Stop.
and everybody's standing up
Shut the
to
fuck
fit
up.
more people in there. I
Shut the
bullshit
fuck
you
up.
not. Viva Colombia. Look it up.
Nah.
That sounds
No
like the
fucking
greatest
Subway.
idea I ever heard. You just
Nah.
hanging on.
Yeah, like a
Yo,
little,
what are you
like
gonna
a
do
little
when
handle,
you
like
land?
on the subway and
when
all
you
that.
take off, yo, when you take off, son.
But then it's like they always have when you
That's-
say, make sure
dude.
your seatbelts are on
Yeah,
and stuff.
because
So
that
it's like
that is such a like
for turbulence. Like I can't even
not
imagine.
not just for turbulence. The whole taking off.
Yeah.
taking off.
Say everybody falls
Oh my
back and all the
gosh.
weight goes to the back of the plane.
Oh,
You're gonna
hell-
die.
Yes. What
like-
the fuck?
They probably got straps in for your feet.
What?
Little harnesses like it's a
Yeah.
roller coaster. or
Oh
some
my
shit.
god.
And then
Trap
they
your feet
take
in,
off.
you trap your hands in. and you good.
No. But yeah, so that's crazy. But yeah, so maybe they need, someone needed that book. I believe everything happens for a reason. And I use one of our business cards as a bookmarker
bookmark.
for all of my books. So hey, they might get jiggy with the jig is up. You never know.
Maybe I should look into making bookmarks for promotional purposes.
Interesting.
One book I was audiobook and I have Audible too. It's
Uh-huh.
only like $14. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's called something of the chicken head.
Something.
It's
something
this,
with the chicken
it's
head.
this black woman talking about her being a black feminist, and so it's a different perspective. Like the white feminist is like a thing, it's a movement in
Oh, yeah,
itself,
yeah.
but it wasn't really supporting black women in that movement.
They
the-
use black women as a crutch to get to what white feminists want to get out of black women,
Yes.
using them as a pawn to their scheme.
Yeah, as a tool. So there's a
And-
little bit
yeah.
of there's a bad taste in the mouth to even talk about.
Yeah, so
being
black women are becoming more privy to that, and they're doing their own thing. They're making sure
or trying, because I feel
Yeah.
like black women and black men are in the same state where we almost see each other as enemies first, and so there's a lot of that's going on, and I feel like at the end of the day, it's just understanding. People have to really work hard at understanding. It's not something that's just a word, or people been saying it's like an action. It's something that you have to do constantly every single day of your life. Try to understand what's going on in somebody else's life. Because I be tripping when I
Is that it?
yeah. When the chicken head comes home to roost. Yes.
when the chicken head comes home to roost.
Yes, that's a good book, and it's also a good audio book because the person that's saying it is like, it sounds good.
The narrator really kills it.
Yes, the narrator kills it on there.
A hip hop feminist.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good book to read. I feel like men and women should read that because men can take what they can and kind of apply it to what we're going through. And I feel like a lot of guys, we just grew up not knowing how to show emotion very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so coming to terms with our inability, but by first being self-aware that we don't have this ability. Like, okay, I wasn't really trained in this.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm learning new. And I'm not by myself because I know a lot of other guys are
Yes.
learning this as well. And so that understanding of like, I'm going through that in my process
Yeah.
and they are too. There's a bit of trauma in the situation of learning it. So to realize that you're probably in the trauma and other people are going through that trauma mixed in with society is just individualistic. Like a lot of people just don't even want to be bothered. We working unnatural hours. We working too much. And then we get off work and we just want to go straight to whatever we doing and just ignore all the other people, homeless dudes screaming and dying on the side. All this other stuff is going on, but it's like we got tunnel vision on what we need to do.
Yeah.
But really, at the end of the day, we need to stop and console that person because it's killing us from the inside by just sitting
Exactly.
and watching that person cry at the end. That's that stuff that's going to come back in your
So
dream.
that makes us more disconnected as human beings
Yeah.
because of the lack of compassion, or just from a stranger to do that. I could see that.
And piggybacking off of what both of you guys are saying, as men, like not being able to really show your emotions. I know, like just growing up, and if you ever was feeling down or crying, and the first thing, so suck that shit up. Like you got to be a man about it. Like
Yo,
what does it mean to be a
Perfect
man?
example. Y'all watch Fresh, right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
You never watched Fresh? Okay. Well, Fresh is a little kid, played by Sean Nelson, the same guy who played as Big Mike, young Big Mike from The Wood. Yeah, but he was younger in this movie.
Yeah.
And as a kid, he's seen a lot of shit because he was a runner. He was a drug dealer. He's seen his friend get murdered. He's seen his sister strung out on drugs. But the thing was, and his father, he couldn't really visit his father, played by Samuel Jackson, because of whatever, some court order or some shit. He was a foster kid. Like, he's going through all this shit. And spoiler alert, at the end of the movie, after all the shit that he'd been through, he finally just bawled and cried. And he didn't like cry like boo hoo, like he still had repressed emotions, but the tears were coming out of his eyes, and that's when the movie ended. And so like with all the shit that he's seen, everything that he'd been through, he had no time to cry. And that moment when he was about to play chess with his father, he just let it all hang out.
Yeah, because he periodically would meet up with his pops and play chess out in the park.
It's on Netflix if you guys haven't seen it. It's a really good movie. Fresh.
Okay.
It's an
Yeah,
old
I'll
movie.
I'll
I'm gonna
definitely
look that
check
up.
that out.
Because the whole thing, like not crying thing, all that really made me do is just cry, like when nobody's looking.
Yeah.
And I believe that that's okay too. I feel like some guys, when you guys go into your shells, because I know I have a few friends that actually do that, male friends, that they'll just disconnect from the world when just they feel like, you know, everything's heavy on their shoulder, and I'm just like, let me help you, or like I'm here if you need me. But sometimes I just feel like guys just don't feel comfortable showing emotions because it's not quote unquote supposed to happen. And you know, and especially like if you're in a relationship with someone and the female is,
you know, when she said you gotta be my rock, and he, you know, he takes that literally, like, yo, I gotta be whore, I can't be,
or verbally abusive, and like, stop being a little bitch. Like, no man wants to hear a woman call him a bitch. Like, it's one thing for another dude to say, but when it comes, but some guys, they're just like, okay, so it's like, I can't, you know, some guys in their past relationships, they're like, okay, I always had to be this type of person because of my past. So then when you have somebody that comes along that's like, no, it's okay to do it. It's not like you automatically like waterworks, you know what I mean? It's just I don't know. I feel like,
you know, the toxic masculinity just might let you allow one tear.
Tear or two.
Tear come out, you gotta suck it back in.
Like have you guys watched the new movie with the guys from Step Brothers?
Talking about like the homies, like is he with Will Ferrell?
Will Ferrell.
Is he playing as like Sherlock Holmes? Like
Sherlock. The Sherlock Holmes. Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
That's one of their not so funny movies, but I did watch it. But there's a part where he shed a tear and then he like it closed up, like sucked that shit back in. Like I was like,
oh yeah, and just an FYI, you know, Fresh was made in the 90s, and that's when toxic masculinity was at all-time high.
Yeah.
So like, if you a connoisseur of toxic masculinity, this is the movie for you. If you are a snowflake or someone who's like easily sensitive, this is not the movie for you. So just letting people know.
Remember that scene on Paid in Full?
Oh yeah,
when what's his name?
When Money Mitch was in the
Money
car.
Mitch met up with A,
and
he was tearing up, like,
because I mean, you know, his brother's kidnapped. He's missing his brother. I mean, you gotta let that man cry. You can't be like, yo, why are you crying? Because your brother's been kidnapped.
If you just look at the body language from A, though, like, he was kind of like,
but he's like, I'm still hard though. He was like, nigga, look at me.
Yeah, it was still like masculine.
Like,
as fuck.
That's like that's the masculine cry. Like, you so mad, you want to fight somebody, but you still. But I remember I was like that when I was younger. When I was in elementary school, like, I would just get so mad, but tears would come out my eyes.
Yeah.
Like, I would really fight somebody. It's like,
Next
nigga, why you crying? Like, you don't understand, nigga. You don't understand my
just
pain.
out of frustration, yeah.
Just out of frustration. So yeah.
But back to the NSA. Do you guys have anything else that you want to keep as a brotherhood, or just shed some positive words to other males?
Just like Jason Wilson said, cry like a man, whatever that means. But don't be afraid to cry. You know what I mean? Like, don't be afraid to be vulnerable, because emotionally it's liberating. All jokes aside. What about you guys?
You know, on the other side of that, don't be dismissive of your friend or somebody you see being that way. Don't be trying to tell them, like, toughen that shit up. Like,
I mean, there's a time and place for everything. There's moments you can tell them to toughen up, and there's moments like, hey man, let it hang out.
I mean, yeah, like, but you know, just speaking specifically towards some, like, if it's some real shit, like, okay,
yeah. But
like other things, like if somebody's just being all like, I don't know how to say it. I don't want to come off disrespectful, but whiny. It's like, nigga, you better suck that shit up.
What about you, Jah Father?
Well, I was ready to answer the question of what do I want women to do more?
Go ahead.
Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead
we
if
can
you want to
do-
go ahead and participate.
Oh, Nessa, don't
Yeah.
you gotta speak on yours too? What you want from guys, your perspective? You never did that last
Oh.
week.
She flipped
Yeah.
it in reverse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Flipped it in reverse.
So yeah, you go
So
ahead.
yeah, you go first, Ramil.
What I want women to do more of.
He excited. He took notes and everything.
All right. This is gonna be.
Well, no, because I wrote down all the stuff that women want men to do more of, and it was a lot of stuff. But I was like analyzing, okay, what is all this stuff at the end of the day?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they asking for a lot of stuff. I feel like women are asking for a lot of stuff, but I feel like as a man, I don't want too much, honestly. But I think that self-reflection is the thing that is needed on both ends.
Man.
People to just reflect on what they do and be aware of how they are, because a lot of times you don't know until you in the situation, you in the
Yeah.
relationship, and they telling that like, oh, you do this all the time, or
And
oh, you leave the
yeah.
fridge open all the time, or oh, you kind of dismissive all the time. If you could kind of take the time to do that on your own, but that goes for the man and the woman.
Yeah.
But do
Thank
that,
you
always
for
do that constantly.
Saying this. This is needed right now. I'm posting this on my IG.
I feel gold when I call myself out before my girl calls me out on something. 'Cause
Yeah.
I be like flexing my self-awareness.
Yeah.
And like, look, I know how I am certain ways, and I'm trying to work on it and be a better person just in general, or be more self-aware so that I know what's happening. But yeah, I that's how I flex. I know the boundaries. I know the boundaries, and I know what might upset her, and I know what might make her really happy. But at the end of the day, I'm getting to know you more. There's certain situations when I'm in a relationship where they may censor me, so it doesn't allow them to get to know me as much as they could possibly know me. I'll just reserve those emotions, and at the end of the day, that'll make the relationship less strong. And so I think it's just self-reflection. And I don't like to clean up. I don't like to do the dishes.
Well, not even take out the trash.
You take out the trash though, right?
I'll wait.
He said, "I'll wait." He said,
Like, do
I'll
you
wait
wait
till-
and then you crush it down? Just give it some extra
Yo.
time.
We got
That's
time.
the word.
We got time. It's raining outside.
Well, that's an exception, but
He's like, hey man, I bought the motherfucking Glad bags that do the flexing. You know, they do the little bit, and they don't tear easily. So
And they-
yeah, I'm crushing the motherfuckers down.
They smell like Febreze.
Right. The
When
ones
your
with
when
the-
your
with
trash
the
smells
scent.
good, you like it's still good.
oh my gosh.
But we all flawed. Like I feel like that's the most consistent human trait is flaws. Like we do amazing things from time to time. But for the most part, we go through our day making mistakes and errors time after time, and that's how we learn to do the phenomenal things that we do. But on both ends, we making mistakes most of the time. When we come together, we can kind of be self-aware and together in those moments and help each other not make mistakes or make less bad mistakes. But either way, we both gonna fuck up on any type of way. That's what humans do. Like perfection does not exist, and so you can make the list, but at the end of the day, I mean, to take it from Will and Jada, you gotta make yourself happy and then bring it into the relationship.
That's
I'm not here to make you happy. I'm here to share the happiness that I have and the love that I have for myself. And so that's something that I have to work on to keep. The love that I have for myself, shoot, it felt like it was gone yesterday, but then it'll come back and it'll go through different changes. And so I'm constantly working on that and hoping that I can notice when my significant other is in those states, because it's crazy when you with somebody and then they might say, oh yeah, I was depressed for like 2 months, and then you'd be like, damn, I didn't notice a goddamn. You'd be like, damn, maybe I need to work on being more aware of them. And it's a lot of times it's not just gonna be what they talking about. I think it's like maybe 10% of communication is what you actually say.
And
The
other
tone,
90.
yeah, it's like tone. It's body language.
Body language.
It's all these other sort of things. So for me to just, I know it might sound crazy when I think of it. When I'm like, oh, you didn't I'm listening to you because the word you're talking about.
Yeah.
But listening is a whole other thing. Ain't
That's
nothing
Hearing and
what I was-
listening.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say on my thing. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta really. This shit is hard. This
Yeah.
shit is hard.
Yo, like it's crazy. Like people can like have Nobel Peace Prizes. They could find the cure for AIDS. They could find the cure for cancer. But when it comes to relationships, that's like the hardest thing in the world. And I think that's why people are always still gravitated towards subjects when it comes to relationships. And every day, people are always looking at articles. People are looking for ways to become a better person. But that's the secret. I mean, it's not really a secret. It's apparent that as an individual, let me see if I can pan this on me if you guys on live want to see me. Yeah, you have to be, like you said, self-actualization, self-assessment. You have to be happy within yourself because you don't want to be dependent on that person to make you happy. As long as you're happy, that person, your partner, is supposed to amplify. It's supposed to, supplement the happiness and not dependent on it. So that's the basic, steps necessary, to make a successful relationship. All right, and then I'll shut up now. Get back to this Jah Father sermon.
But that's what I mean. I said I talked on both ends, but I feel like just self-reflection on both ends. Relationships are really hard, and I've been in one for 2 years right now, and
Me too.
I haven't messed up.
Me 3.
Too bad. She might say different, but nothing crazy. She hasn't hit me over the head with a lamp yet.
No lamp, no claw marks on your face, so you doing good.
Nothing.
Not a scratch on you. All right.
Maybe they're hidden scars. No, I'm just joking.
I got a bruise right now.
I'm just kidding. Anything else, guys?
I don't know. What was your turn?
Sorry.
She was looking.
I don't know. He said everything I would say.
He's preaching to the choir.
Well, yeah, I mean, pretty much the same thing. Like, because I was telling Mark that I didn't really get to focus on what I wanted to say, even though like I agreed with a lot of the stuff on the list. But my own things were, well, of course, number one, communication is key, I believe. But my biggest thing is knowing the difference between listening and hearing. So it's funny that you mentioned that, because I believe that there's a thin line. So you can say certain things, but half the time, once you start going in, especially like we talked about women sending their men paragraphs, like already they kind of like tune you out. So they hear what you're saying, but they're not really listening. And listening is very deep. It's you're hearing what they're saying, but you're also trying to understand what it is, and work on, okay, how can we make this better? How can we make, turn this into a solution instead of it being a reoccurring problem? And I feel like that comes from actually listening to your significant other. And then, of course, not being dismissive towards people's feelings, especially if they're telling you over and over again the same thing. Obviously, it's because they're not being heard in a certain set. You know what I mean? So those were my things that I wanted to add on to the list from last week.
The weird thing that I do is I watch abuse videos. To make sure that I'm not abusing anybody. I'm very I'm paranoid that I may be having like abusive tendencies just from consuming mass media. I feel like they push these things. And so I just learned what the term gaslighting was. I didn't even know what it was.
What is?
And what is it?
Gaslighting. That sounds familiar.
It's like making a person think that they're living in an alternate reality. Or like you're doing something in the relationship to obviously piss them off or make them mad, and you make the other person think that they're crazy for thinking
that happens a lot. Yeah.
So basically you're pushing buttons and you get the reaction out of them. And it's like, why are you acting like this?
Yes, you're basically manipulating.
Can you
them.
give an example?
One is Till Swan, and hers was sad because I think her uncle was molesting her in some type of way, and so he created this whole fantasy where he set it up so that basically no matter what she told her parents, that they thought she was making up some fantasy lie story, so he could keep their relationship in an alternate reality than what everybody else is going to think, because everybody else is going to think that she's lying. So kind of manipulating that person, but also manipulating the people that are around them to view your perspective as the true reality. And on the low, you're doing these deceitful deeds.
That's crazy.
And so I thought it was like gassing someone up, which is not that bad. But I try to look up these terms, and then like I'll watch the YouTube video, or I'll read the certain audiobook and say, okay, what is abuse, and how do people do it, and how can I learn about it, and then stop any of those things right in their tracks if I'm even doing something that I know that I might have read about or heard about and say, oh shit.
Because some people do it subconsciously. Yeah,
they might have grown up in that environment. What do they call it? It's called like trans or intergenerational trauma. Well, where the parents pass down the trauma to their children, and it's in a very pragmatic way. It might be that your mom, and I don't mean to say it in this situation, it's just a situation, your mom don't like your dad, so she talks shit about your dad all day. The kid's gonna grow up with having those thoughts about men, and that's gonna carry on into their relationships, so it still carries on. So even for my own self, the biases that I have, I don't want my child to have the same biases that I have just because I got them all up embedded in me. I want them to be a free thinker and be able to make the choice that they have, give them the options, but not necessarily pass down whatever trauma that I may have onto them. I feel like it's not fair.
It isn't. I agree. Yeah. I work with children, so I've always said that, like, you know, a lot of times parents, when parenting their children, they tell them, don't do this, don't do that. As opposed to doing the opposite and not telling them what to do, but kind of moving them more in a positive light instead of just focusing on the negative, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. That remind me of that Kendrick song where he's talking about everything that he fears. And I feel like as Black people, I had to learn this because how I learn, my learning patterns, I learn in what not to do's. And I feel like a lot of other people, or a lot of white people I know, they learn in like, okay, what am I supposed to do? I go into situations like, okay, what am I not supposed to do? And then that's how I'll learn whatever it is. And I'll be like, okay, I got it. Good.
Interesting.
You told me everything I didn't need to do. And I think it's because of those roots. Like, we're always told, don't do that. Don't touch that TV. Don't touch nothing.
Don't touch the hot
stove.
stove.
It's like, don't.
And sometimes, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but sometimes where we lack, we kind of forget to have an explanation. Don't touch the hot stove. And a lot of times the kids ask why, and I've had this conversation before where some people, they're just like, oh, when kids like ask why, like, oh, they're being annoying, they're this, they're that, but it's like, no, they're really curious. And you can tell if someone's like really just trying to get on your last nerve, but a lot of times people or children are really curious, and if you just tell them don't do this and don't follow up with because I said so, which is the majority of the response you'll get, then it's like it leaves them more to like, oh, well, they never really told me why, so let me go ahead and touch that hot stove. You know what I mean? And then I don't know,
or let me tell somebody else to do something and then not even give them a reason why, just be really convincing and telling them to do something, which that could lead to trauma as well in some type of way, or abuse as well in some type of way. So it goes in like these 360s.
That's why I really want to study psychology.
Look at y'all getting all smart and educated.
It's just the P code. I'm not that smart.
The P code.
It's just the P code. God damn it, the jig is up.
So to wrap it up, ladies, let's be more empowering with one another. If you're not feeling baby, just leave it at that. Again, like I said, unless it's they're doing something morally wrong, leave it at that. And then for the men, you guys said to it's okay to cry.
Yeah,
Right.
It's okay to cry. Let them things out. Let them tears out. Sob if you have to.
Shed them thug
Sob.
tears.
Sob.
That's all I picture.
You know, like Trey Songz and when he sings, you know.
You're so dumb.
Oh my God.
You know, get your Trey Songz face on.
Okay.
With
Or
the
like
sob.
Right.
Will Ferrell from Anchorman when he was in that telephone booth.
That was a bad choice.
You know, or DMX, you know, sometimes DMX will sob in the middle of the stage, and then he'll follow by. He's like, "Fuck y'all niggas, I'm talking about grandma."
He's really good at crying. He is.
So he'll do that too.
Because you still respect his Jeep when he cried.
Right.
Exactly. You be like, "All right, homie." I ain't gonna say nothing about that.
Or you guys can do that, you know, create a report where you can cry, it will still be respected as a G.
Yeah.
Hey.
I wonder if him and Demi Lovato did crack together.
Oh my gosh.
Yo.
That'd be a great picture.
That's a good one.
Yo.
Oh man, Demi Lovato and DMX doing crack together. God damn, what a collaboration.
I'm DMX.
If a song come out of that,
This is the Disney Channel.
This is the Disney Channel.
Hey, yo, dog, you know what I mean?
oh no.
You know what I'm saying? Right here with Demi Lovato. All right, man, let me stop.
That's the
Man.
next Super Bowl performance. That's
Oh
what
my
happened.
God.
Oh man, but yeah, man. Shoot, man. To get no further ado, I mean, because I know we've been here for a little bit, and I don't know how much time you have. So, but the thing is, we do want to get to know you a bit better. So, what's been going on with you?
I mean, the biggest thing that I have going right now is I got voted on the board of the African American Museum of Fine Art.
Hey.
And I
look at
think
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I think the most, I guess the strongest thing for me is that it came out of hip hop.
Okay.
That's how they met me. And that's how it was introduced. It was through hip hop and through a documentary that I did called Spiritualized.
Actually, I think I watched that. It was on Vimeo.
Yeah, it's on Vimeo.
On your APK.
Yes. Chicano director named Benji Huerta. He directed it. And
Some nice visuals, by the way.
Thank you. That all that music on there is produced by a guy named Daniel Kessner, and so he produced my new song called Monsters. But that's basically the visual EPK of all of our music. And so we've been in the mix of putting that together. We did about 10 screenings of Spiritualized. And in that process, I'm working with the African American Museum of Fine Art, just volunteering. I wanted to see how they worked internally so I could apply that to how I'm running my business. And I feel like it was really good to learn that from Black people. I feel like they were really extra out there trying to help me and try to get me some type of platform. I wasn't even looking to be a board member. I was just looking to try to learn, and it turned into like 2 years of just showing up to meetings, helping them with certain social media things. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people, I feel like there was a backlash on doing free work on Twitter a lot last year, but that's been very helpful for me. But it has to be something that I would do no matter what, that I would love to do. And so working with the museum is one of them. I feel like that's part of what hip hop is, just how I learned it. And I'm not to say that that's better. That's just how I learned what hip hop is. It's about the community. It's about that 360. And so finding other ways to express ourselves. And I'm honestly, I'm a big fan of Jay-Z, and I'm looking at how things are working. I'm looking at him in the museums. I'm looking at him talking about changing his finances, and I'm looking at hip hop. And to me, it's kind of stagnant in some type of way. It's staying stagnant, and hip hop is moving into other elements. Into like podcasting is like the new hip hop to me, because it's somewhere that you can go and you can hear some type of truth. Yeah. And hip hop has become this weird thing where like the cops are everywhere now. Not that I'm doing anything dirty, but it just doesn't feel like authentic. Like when I went to hip hop, I went to that for a certain type of reason. Like I grew up on Tupac. I love that stuff. I love hearing the truth that he was speaking. I love when he was in jail and he was talking about like, this is not inspirational. This is not a place that you want to be. Like, those were the things that connected me to hip hop. And so reaching out and finding out other ways to do music or do hip hop, I feel like that's reaching out to places like podcasts. I feel like that's reaching out and working in places like museums. But at the end of the day, it's in the stance of hip hop. And so last year they let me show a video called My Mama Black inside of the museum. And it was a hit, but it was a hip hop song that was in the middle of the museum. And so my push is really to show people that hip hop is fine art. And at the end of the day, fine art is kind of bullshit. Not like hip hop is bullshit. The only difference is the money. You can draw a dot on a white piece of paper and sell that shit for like $1 million. Yeah. And somebody that's sitting there on the street speaking prophecy. I done heard some crazy freestyles where it was spiritual ancestors talking out of somebody's mouth. And I was in awe of somebody. And that shit was worth $1 million. I swear to God, it was worth $1 million. So those corners, that's
why you think mega churches make money.
Exactly.
It's sermon, man.
It's that sermon. It's that word. It's that church.
That word of Jah Father, man. I tell you.
That connects people. It's to me, at the end of the day, it's storytelling.
Yeah.
And I realize for myself that I'm a storyteller. So I can do that through hip hop. I can do that through other forms. I can do that through talking to people in the communities or going out and talking at speaking engagements. I can do it in so many forms. I could create a certain character or whatever, Jah Father or Real J or Ramel. I can step into different emotions that I've had fully where I'm balling, maybe just by myself, and I can step into that moment of time and I can make that song of that emotion. It's not like I feel like that certain person at that time, but realize that it's almost like it's a character. And when we go through life, we're constantly switching these characters and we're code switching. And I feel like it's important to be aware of it. Like when you go to work, for the majority of the time, you're not really speaking in your voice.
Yeah.
How do you balance that fact that we're working these jobs that are too much and we're not being ourselves? We have to reconnect to the deepest parts of ourselves, which are deep emotions, like when we're crying or when we're ecstatically happy. And I feel like we can't limit ourselves in our ability to storytell. I feel like a lot of black people's history is spoken orally. And so I feel like hip hop and speaking is keeping up that tradition. And it's not like it's less viable. People say that things are less viable because maybe it wasn't written down or something. But if you look all around, especially if you look at the Super Bowl videos, everything had like a sprinkle of hip hop on it. Everything had a sprinkle.
Hip hop has taken over. Hip hop is the number one genre for just recently, because rock was the number one genre for a while. And now hip hop took over.
But it was already all over the culture.
But it's been black music from the gate. When you think about it, when you do your history of rock and roll, come on, it's been gentrified.
Mm-hmm.
And then a book I've been reading, or I audio booked it, was The Tanning of America by Steve Stout. And the audio book is
Commissioner
dope.
Steve Stout, all right.
Because what's her name? She does the vocals on it. The girl that's on the Chris Rock movie where he cheat on his wife with her.
Kerry Washington?
Kerry Washington does the voice.
Her fine ass.
Man, I had a crush on Kerry Washington.
Oh, if you listen to the book, you might bust a nut. It's good.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. Chris Rock had that one scene. He had to walk out of that room. That take a lot of willpower.
And then he actually cheated. Didn't he actually cheat on his wife with her?
Yeah, life imitating art, man.
That's a good one. That is a good one. But I think it's true that life No. I think that art imitates life. Like all these things that y'all are talking about, like the one that you showed me, I forgot what it was, with the voiceover of what's his name from
Liam Neeson.
You become the characters that you portray.
Yeah.
You become the character that you portray.
He was on his taking shit.
He was on his taking stuff.
On black men.
The rappers become this fucking character that they're not.
Yeah.
And it's getting people like years in jail over these characters that they sign up for. It's like
Tekashi right now.
Live outside that character. You have to live outside that character for sustainability over a long period of time. That's a daughter losing her father for that long. That's so sad. I'd be depressed if that was my life. I would be fucking depressed. So a lot of people come up to me and be like, oh, I like the work that you're doing. And I get humbled by that. But a lot of the stuff I'm doing is out of necessity. Like, I have to be able to survive in different forms. So, yeah, I'm going to do the Airbnb and then do the Airbnb experiences and then try to work with the museum and then try to open up the church and then the Holyfield. Because I got to try to find different means in order to survive. It's crazy to survive out here. Especially in San Diego.
Yeah.
You got to have more than one thing to do.
Multiple streams of income.
One lady that I know, she's like 85. She works with me. And she
85.
Ubers after work.
At 85?
85-year-old Uber?
Yes.
Yo.
This is the reality. A lot of us, not us, I feel like y'all got a lot of ambition, and I love what y'all are doing with this. And y'all might have one of the longest running podcasts in San Diego that I know of. Which is crazy.
We just hit 3 years.
3 years?
3 years.
We got to look that up, but I'm going to do my research and try to find out because that's
Google.
crazy.
I mean, all we do is just put our head down and just keep grinding, you know, and try to figure it out. But thank you for even noticing that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because it's hard to stay consistent because people have seen me going in and out of an artist from just doing raps to trying to start a business to going out and doing speaking engagements. And a lot of people are like, yo, stay still and just brand like the rapper version of you.
I mean, I see what they mean with that, but, you know, at the same time, you're exploring your different assets as a man. Because you're a man before you're a rapper. You're a man before a motivational speaker. You're a man before this. So you're basically learning different aspects about yourself. I was a blogger. I think you remember me as a blogger. And you know, so I used what I took from blogging, put it in podcasting form. You know, so those things that you learn from rapping or speaking engagements or from your other experiences, it's going to pay off dividends eventually when you find the exact number one thing that you want to do.
Yeah, so I want to like meet a lot of these rappers and just talk and have conversations with them to see to tell them what they're good at too. Some people are rapping, but you might talk to them and you see some other type of thing that they're really good at, or like they might be fucking beautiful and should be a model or something. You like, yo, you should try to model or something, or like they're really funny and it's like, yo, you should try to do comedy, or you see them drawing, or
very artistic.
Yeah, or they might be really good at like wood shop, or they might be really good at welding. And it's like, yo, find whatever it is. Don't look at the other person that's across from you. Just look at yourself. One of my sticky notes says that life is inward. Life is inward.
Life is inward.
Yes.
So how did you come up with that?
Because inward means nigga.
I thought you said N-word. Like
Inward. Yeah, inward.
Inward.
It's the N-word.
I thought you said inward as like inner, like inward. But
Yeah, that too.
okay.
Double
I didn't say
entendre.
double
That
entendre.
too.
Don't even ask him how.
You know what's funny? When you just said it, I thought literally, nigga, N-word.
Oh, see, so y'all were on the same frequency.
So that's what I thought at first, and then when he kept saying it, I thought it was inward. So I was like, oh, okay. And then when he said it, it went back. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, so
I
life
saw
is
him both.
inward. Okay,
Yeah, so you got to think of where you came from. And we all came from darkness. We all came from our mother's wombs. And there's a metaphor for darkness, just something that you don't know about. I feel like you have to constantly go into something that you don't know about in order to learn about yourself, and you get better self-reflection points, if you want to call it that. But you have to go into the darkness. You came from the darkness. You have to go into other dark places, if that makes any sense.
No, yeah, it does.
A place that you don't know anything about, and then learn it, and then continue on to another place.
That's
That
how
makes
you.
sense.
That's how you get to find your true character. You know, in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah, and then that's usually the phrase what they say, like, well, I was left in the dark, like the not knowing. So.
Yeah, and I'm trying to. Some people don't like it, but I'm trying to rebrand blackness. Because I think that is fucking awesome, but it's used as a negative connotation. Like, I'm left in the black, or like it's black. Oh, it's dark. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I remember my cousin. We were in church and we was talking about the darkness, and the more we talked about how bad the darkness was, the more pissed he got. I could see the fury in him talking, or like listening to the guy at church talk about how bad darkness was. And that's like when the thought like really hit me for the first time. I think I was like maybe 10, and I was like, dang, there's these like weird metaphors of how darkness is bad. That's so weird. And I'm dark. I'm walking around darkness.
Oh my God. For me, I like to separate. Like when I hear darkness in that type of way, I separate it from it being a color to it being what would I say? Like an energy. As far as like a negative energy, not necessarily it being a color though attached to it. You know, that's just me though.
Yeah.
And I mean, recently I've learned I'm obsessed with my color. I do hear N-word when I hear N-word. When I hear Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's what I hear. Like, I
ain't gonna lie, I used to break down his name. I'm like, Schwarzenegger, huh? I'm trying to tell me something, Arnold?
I'm obsessed with it, but I try to enter some situations, and I read this in a Questlove book. It's called Creative Quest. It's really good.
I might have to like get a recommendations from Real J.
Oh yeah, we'll go back and forth.
Okay.
But he's like, go into situations and try to think of the complete opposite of what you think. Try to put yourself in that other's perspective completely. Don't you don't have to stay in that perspective, but just try to sit in it and like really feel like you believe that. I feel like that's a really healthy thing to do, and I feel like it gives perspective. And so I know it's a lot of stuff, but that's why I jump around to all these things. Like I feel like I need perspective, and I feel like I need to live in the pursuit of chasing darkness.
It's a part of your journey.
Yeah, that is. It's been a fun journey. I mean, I've been doing like video production stuff for the last 5 years, learning how to run a business, working with the museum. It kind of seems like a dream, but I just wake up and I go. And during that whole time, I've been able to work on music. And I haven't put a lot of it out, but I'm trying to finally release the music. And the contradictions are totally there. The rappers are like, what the hell are you doing? Stop doing that shit. And the educators are like, you're a rapper. What are you doing here? But I feel like I'm gonna have to deal with those tensions no matter what. No matter where I go, I'm not supposed to be there.
Because it sounds like you're creating something. So in order to create it, you have to go through some shit for it to be created.
To be a pioneer, a trailblazer.
To be a pioneer, trailblazer out of what you're creating.
Because someone else eventually is gonna have to walk the path that you walked. But all you did, but the thing is that you blazed the trail. You didn't. There was no trail in that forest.
I'm hoping so. I mean, after doing the church, I was talking a lot of like out there stuff.
You running a cult?
It was low key, almost like it felt like it was. I thought someone was gonna stop
you
us.
Putting no crazy rat poison in the Kool-Aid like Jim Jones, right?
You know what? Most people didn't know, so let me explain
Wear your
it.
Nikes.
In 2014, after working and volunteering at Platt College, this was another volunteer thing that ended up happening. We started a program called Break Bread TV. I would go in and I would let the students record me for free, basically. I was their subject. They would test me, or they would test their skills that they just learned on me and let me record. I would then also bring other artists into Platt College, and I would have them do that with them. Or I'd find a video student and they say, oh, I'm into punk rock, or oh, I'm into small businesses. And then I would bring people there. For example, my uncle that he runs Waffle Burger.
Oh.
Oh, word? That's your uncle?
That's my uncle. I remember I used to see him at the at like Martin Luther King, like selling them.
Yeah.
I think he used to have like, it was almost like a paletero type of thing, but with waffle burgers. And he would tell us about it. This was the first entrepreneur I ever even heard of. And he was talk about his business selling waffle burgers, and I thought he was crazy. But then, like, maybe it was like 3 or 4 years ago, he opened up
It
his
was
spot.
a thing.
Yes, he
Yeah.
opened it up.
And people will come to Southeast.
Yes.
And foodies, like, will come to Southeast and have a waffle burger.
Yeah.
It's crazy. He did the opening for the Holyfield, which is the album with me and Abjo, but it was made out of Platt College. All the students came. All the students had booths. The students did like live paintings, and then they filmed the whole get together.
Experience.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
ultimately so that the students could have something, some type of subject to focus on, because a lot of them don't know what to focus on when they're doing these subjects. We noticed that only the people that paid for college could really go through that. So we wanted to open up another facility, and the teachers just had the means. They knew investors and everything. And so we opened up a place that we called the church, with no vowels in it. That's our wordplay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so it was a creative space in Barrio Logan that was open from 2014 to 2017. And so I was running the music studio in there, and it was called the Holyfield. And what we were doing, we were giving out free space to rent. So JR, he's a DJ now.
Selection.
I think he's Selection.
Not
I'm not sure. I
anymore?
think he was on the white label, and then he's
Okay.
going through that ringer and everything.
Okay.
And so he had his clothing company, UV Clothing, in there, and then Beatbox Records started in there. He was just selling vinyls out of his room and everything. We were like, look, you can start the business here, and then we'll just see where it goes. And then we did a bunch of live performances. We had a bunch of graffiti on the wall when it first opened. And so me going into these other places, because these were like some weird teachers. These are like people that you don't really stop and talk to because they look kind of weird. And I was just interested in talking to them, and then it just turned out we became friends, and then they had opportunities, and we came together and we started something that was really big. I was like the Jah Father of the church. I was like the face of it. They're more so the business side.
Yeah.
And so through that, I ended up kind of doing these little sermons, and so I would speak at these events. But it was on it was pretty spacey
Outlandish. No, I'm just kidding.
before people were talking like that. And so now I go to shows and I see a lot of people kind of talking like out there, because I'm on some everything is one thing type of thing. Like, I really think that there's a lot of illusions that the senses trick us into believing, and I believe in multiple lives, and I believe that everybody's connected. I think that you can share the same heartbeat frequency with people, and so bringing that type of conversation into a live venue space.
Yeah.
I feel like I was one of the first ones to kind of do that, but I feel like it's a constant now. Like, I go out to shows and people are ripping it up. Like, that's just how a lot of the younger kids think. Like, I might have started doing that in public and some people might have seen it, but like now that's like a standard that I see. I'm like, dang, these kids are way out there, way more than me. I think mildly.
So, your new single and your new video, Monsters. So, can you I forgot the hook. The hook was catchy. I don't remember what the lyrics for the hook was because I watched it like earlier today.
You know what? It kind of ties into what we were talking about, of like, what are the things that you learn of when you're a child from relationships. I believe the lyrics are, I lie awake because I can't sleep at night.
Yeah,
Because
that's
my I forget exactly, but basically the situation is that a child, their parents they're not working there. It didn't work out, and the child is wondering why. Is it the child? Why doesn't my dad love my mom? And I was working with kids for like 6 years. Dashea got me the job at Primetime. I remember that. And these kids would be thinking about death.
Oh yeah,
They would be. They think the craziest things. Where I'm like, oh, I thought only adults thought about this. But then I look back at my own childhood, And damn, I was thinking about everything. I was
Yeah.
thinking about dying. I was thinking about my parents. I was
Yep.
thinking about, oh, what's happening to my cousin. I was thinking about, oh, they picking them up for jail. As a child, I thought it was standard to go to jail. I thought that was just one of the things that just happens in your life. You end up going to jail because something happened. And so really looking at those situations of what the kids were going through and what I had gone through in my own life. And I wrote that song when I just came back from the Grammys. It was 2015.
Yeah, with Ryan Lewis, right?
Yes. And so that was really emotional for me. I mean, I think it was Jay Dilla's birthday month as well. It was the Grammys. It was the same weekend that it was the anniversary of my grandma's death. And so I was thinking about a lot of stuff. Like when I was there, that was probably the most I remember crying. Because it was like mad phenomenal to me. I was thinking about my grandma. And I wanted to make just something real honest. And I had come back from the Grammys, and I was at the church. It was like 2 a.m. in the morning. I couldn't sleep, and I had this beat from Daniel Kessner, and I just made this song. And so it's completely different. I don't know what people think about it. So I don't know if y'all had seen it. I'm really looking because I don't get good feedback because I'm nice or it comes off nice. I might hate somebody, but it come off nice. Mean people get all the good feedback. So I'm trying to look to see what people think. But the song is about monsters. As a kid, your monsters live underneath the bed. Once you become older, your monsters turn into relationships that you don't like. Your monsters turn into depression. Your monsters turn into anxiety. And so how can you turn your monsters into masterpieces? I feel like if you find some type of way to jujitsu it or turn it into a song or some type of painting, you can then see yourself from outside of yourself. And so that's really what this song is about. And so we're going to go around doing screenings. We're setting up the screenings. That's kind of like my thing. We did the 10 screenings with Spiritualized, and so we're going to shoot for maybe 10 more with Monsters, where we show the film and then we have a community conversation about people's monsters.
Okay. Do you have any dates already lined up?
We did one on January 18th at Arts and Rec. In collaboration with the what is it called, San Diego Urban Beats. They're a nonprofit that deal with destigmatizing mental health.
Okay.
And so some cats named Young Plato, he performed. A cat named John Keith performed.
John Keith, yeah.
He's really dope out of the David Harps Foundation.
Shout outs to them.
Yeah, both those institutions, they're both huge inspirations for everything that I'm doing. I'm on the same wave as what they're doing, and I'm trying to learn from them a lot. The rest of the dates we're trying to work on everything and put it out there.
Well, let me know. I'll pull up.
Yeah, same here.
I appreciate that. Yeah, pull up and
let us know.
We'll tap in, pull up, whatever the words the kids are saying these days.
And if you haven't heard it, the song is mad soft. It sounds like a lullaby.
Yeah, it gave me that vibe, but the hook got me catchy. And then, of course, I saw Brianna's daughter.
She was the main character.
As the main character. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Everybody, the visual was really
the visual's
dope.
pretty good. The visual's really good, and it catches on. And I think it's one of those. I think it'd be one of those singles that it could grow onto you. Off the top, the first impression, you're like, okay, Ramel's, Real J doing something different than I'm normally used to hearing. But that's the part of being an artist. You're taking artistic risk to find something new or something within yourself that you didn't know that you had before. So I commend you on that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a bit of a risk. But what feels so good is you said you like the visuals.
Yeah.
Because that's like my thing too. Like
dope.
That. Like if I don't get it somewhere else, I'll get it like, oh yeah, at least I have my hand in that part. And then we got the remix coming. The remix is a slumper. We turned it into a slumper.
Turn it into a slumper?
Yeah,
okay.
We absolutely did.
Okay, I'll be looking forward to that. Shoot, man, I know that you talked about it. You wanted to address beefs.
You know what was the show that we had over the weekend was phenomenal.
At Spacebar?
Spacebar. And I really like y'all because y'all are, first off, we know each other.
Yeah.
Which is wild to see that y'all are still doing what y'all are doing, then I'm still doing what I'm doing. It's just evolved in some type of way. Jason came to the show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jason
As we
came
proceed,
to
that's
the
deep.
show. You
still
did a
janky.
Y'all, who called him?
No one.
Oh,
That's
that's
he just pulled up.
He just pulled up.
said somebody called him and talked to him. Well, if somebody secretly did that, you just did a phenomenal thing. Whoever did it did a phenomenal thing. It's something that someone wouldn't necessarily think of, but it works.
Yeah.
It works.
And you know, he's very hypercritical, not hypercritical, but he's very no filtered. He's very blunt with his criticism on San Diego hip hop, which is still needed. Very heavy handed. And I know artists, as artists of all arts, we're all sensitive to a certain degree. And, you know, with him, you know, sometimes I do have conversations with him, and, you know, I think he's at a place where he just wants to, he's about being more positive. He wants to.
Yeah, but the character is so good. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to just say character, but like
The persona
something about
of-
having a Debo of San Diego seems so cool.
Yeah,
I was scared. I was scared of him. I'm scared of him.
Right.
But I don't think he likes that. He doesn't like that people see him like that. And I don't feel like that's fair for me to even continue that,
Yeah.
even if I think that we have something going on. It was something on Twitter I had
Yeah.
said, but I had said it out of a good place because I was bitter because no one really said nothing when the church was gone. I was mad. I was bitter. Real bitter.
Oh, yeah, I mean, speaking truth.
I was mad because I got left in the dust with it. Everybody left. One of the guys, he got a divorce and he had to go to El Paso, and then it was just me, and that shit was hard. And so I had went on him. I don't think we just wasn't talking to each other at this time. But I would go look at his stuff. I mean, that's one of the biggest blogs, most consistent that I've seen in San Diego. You got to look at that. You got to look at what he's doing. And so I had one day everything was gone. Everything was gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, where's As We Proceed, and why is nobody saying anything?
Right.
They doing the same thing. I mean, I'm in my church shit. So I go, I like tweet like, where is As We Proceed? And I think it probably came off as sarcastic
Yeah.
as well. And then he kind of went in on me on some stuff, but
Yeah.
it was funny. He got me. He got me good. He did. And I don't know how to use Twitter. I'm just kind of nice on there, like I am, and it doesn't. You always lose if you're nice. Always lose.
So did you guys like piece it up? Did you guys talk? Did you guys converse after your show at Spacebar?
Yeah, right when we met, we talked and everything.
Okay,
And so
that's good.
That did a lot for me, honestly. And so I think that that's huge for San Diego, and a lot of the younger cast were there too, and so it seemed like a really good. I don't know. It was just it was just something that was nice, and I feel like a lot is gonna grow out of that. So whatever allowed that to happen, I'm very thankful for that, and I hope any of the beefs that might be going on. Just meet up with the people. We're also creative and we're also imaginative too. We think that shit is gonna go down, but it's all like these fake illusion beefs. We're making it bigger than it actually is. We got to give people these real chances, especially like a lot of us has put so much work into what we're doing. Like we've all put too much into the stuff that we're doing, and I want you to know that I should listen more to what y'all are saying, but even the certain criticisms that you guys might have gave me back in the day, I do remember one. I remember you gave me one. You said that you need to put more passion into your voice. Like that we need to be more like, I think it was too monotone. Yeah, you needed the feeling. You needed the feeling.
And you know what's funny, because you like, you know, out of the 3 years we've been on here, we only had 2 rappers. We had Dami Young at the Barber Fest, and I recalled to him like, Dami, this is what I need more from you.
Right.
I need you to be more vulnerable, because when I was talking to Dami about it, and you know, plenty of times, like, Dami, we know that you could rap, you could put flows together, you double time and all that, but who is Dominique Young? And that's what I relate to him. Like, I need to know who you are. And at that moment, he wasn't ready to.
Yeah, we're not trying to hear it.
You're not
when you
trying
told
to
me
hear
that,
it.
I was not trying to hear that.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm here
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the blogger in me, giving you insight of what the listener wants to hear from you.
And for me to take it deeper, like, I'm part of the culture where I understand that that's kind of how we speak to each other.
Yeah,
Like, throw out the criticism in there, or like we might argue or something.
I'm pretty sure it was constructive. I wouldn't say, "Oh, that shit was trash."
No, but I
Yeah.
come off nice no matter what.
Uh-huh.
That's just how I come off. I was probably real mad. It's probably like, I'm so tight. How you gonna tell me?
Yeah.
You can't tell me nothing. But I come off nice, but inward.
Inward.
All inward.
Yeah.
But I'm like really at that point now where I feel like it's so important to listen to other people and be as open as possible with these songs, because we could be doing some really dope stuff. Dami, I agree with you, because I remember sitting on the couch at Leon's house way back in the day, and he showed us like his real humble stuff. Mm-hmm. But I feel like he gets more empowered by more of his braggadocious type of rhymes, where I saw some stuff where he was real humble, and I was like, yo, like, I was like, he's the GOAT. when I was in it, I was like, yo, he's really, damn, this is dope.
Hey, you ain't too bad yourself, man.
Yeah. What the fuck?
I feel like
Don't do that. Because look. You remember like when we used to be over at like Bam's house, and you would play something, or I would just be with you and you would play something or show me something that you did. I'm like, I'm thinking like you. As far as how you think of Dami, I'm like, this nigga's the GOAT. Like, this goes super hard. Like,
but
I'm
now
like, he gotta be one of them. He gotta be the ones to do it to be out there. Like,
Yeah.
I was really into myself back then.
okay,
Yeah.
Now I feel like I took it way back to where I could make something that could make a lot like the masses feel like that. And I'm excited about that, but it's me taking step back that ego. That got to disappear in all types of forms. It has to. That's a monster for myself.
Yeah.
That's not good to have.
Dude, man. I mean,
some honesty right there, man.
And then also
Self awareness.
Yeah. self-awareness.
So did meditation help you out with your self-awareness?
Yes. Right now, I feel like I'm in one of the best spots because I've been practicing Buddhism for like maybe 6 or 7 years.
Oh, okay.
But I had always either practiced the teachings or I practiced the meditating. I never did them together. So for this past like maybe month or so, I've been really focusing on doing both of those together. And to really make Buddhism sound really normal, all it is self-awareness. That's the complete practice.
Okay.
Be self-aware as possible. One thing that you can practice on doing is being aware of your breath, because it's something that you do consistently. So if you're aware of that, that'll kind of trigger into the other things that you do and how you behave.
Yeah.
And so you can be a Buddhist Christian. It's just you're very self-aware. You can be a Buddhist Muslim.
Well, shoot.
It's just practicing self-awareness.
I might be practicing Buddhism then, because I'm a big supporter of being self-aware or promoting self-awareness. Like I feel like that's such a big essential thing as a human being. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been with me as a kid. You know, every that phrase, "Put yourself in my shoes." I felt like, you know, that played a part in being aware, not just with yourself or, you know, with the other person, where you said just not too long ago, like really immerse yourself in that other perspective, opposite of yours. 9 times out of 10, it's the other person's shoes, you know, because you're having a conversation, y'all might be at odds. And that always been a principle of mine, you know, because I guess I have like my spirit always has like a fairness. I like to try to praise what's fair or fight for what's fair. My dad used to hate that shit. He's always telling me like, nothing's fair in this world, son. Like, you have to learn. I'm like, well, I'm gonna be the nigga that's fair in this in this unfair ass world. Nigga.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta be.
Sometimes you can't let the world corrupt your inner self. You know what I mean? Like, even though the environment don't be a product of the environment. Let the environment be a product of you.
Yeah, I'm
And
not
think-
gonna
and then
fall
I think
in
as
line.
and I think that as human beings, when we go on our journey of in life, that should be one of our purposes in this world, is to make sure that the environment is better than where we found it. That's just me.
Agreed.
That's just me. Shoot, man. But anything else, man? I know we've been here for a while, and I'm sorry for the listeners who want to hear us for 3 hours. We've been giving you 2 hours
Yeah.
an episode to get y'all through work. But I take it as a compliment. I heard it from my man Easy. He told me that someone was like, "Man, y'all get really good." I was like, "Look, man,
It's like,
we got
y'all-
lives."
It's like 2 hours ain't enough. I'm like, excuse me?
I was like,
I'm
"Yo,
just trying to do this every week.
you're like, man, like, if you listen to this at work, man, your first 2 hours, boom, right there, gone."
Yeah.
Then in your 10-minute break, or you listen to us after work. But
We have 143 episodes for you.
yes.
So if that 2 hours is up, play the next episode.
Right.
143, man. That's crazy. And we still want to do Patreon episodes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
I like
even
that
even
segue.
more work. we got even more. But yeah, man. So before we go ahead and finish, man, Real J, what's your social handles?
Just go on theholyfield.org.
Theholyfield.org.
Yes, that used to be the music studio, and now we're a community media company. We did all the visuals for Monsters, and we bring a collective of artists together, and you can find all of my music as well.
Do you have it spelled a certain way as far as the Holyfield?
Like Evander Holyfield.
Real Deal.
For sure.
The Holyfield. That's where it came from.
.org.
.org.
Got you. All right. So we're gonna go ahead, do our shout outs and parting words. Easy, you want to kick it off, or Nessa, you want to kick it off?
Easy.
What? Don't put it on
Easy
me.
come, easy go.
Shout out to Ramel for coming through, man. Because
Thank
we had a conversation at the brunch. I forget the name of the brunch. I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry, Keon.
Vision boards.
It
The-
was,
yeah.
it was
Brunches?
Beats and Brunch.
Yeah.
I got this from the Passion Panel for there.
Oh,
Right, okay, cool.
That's
So,
where I saw you from. Okay.
We had a conversation. We were just talking about a little bit of everything, and I brought up the podcast, and I was like, "Hey, man, you can come anytime, and I'm down for us to do this, So I appreciate you coming through, man. It's really dope that
Thank you.
you came to the show.
And,
Did your thing.
The episode will be available tomorrow, so we work on a quick turnaround time. So
So
go out there, tell your friends. Listen, you want to hear my voice for an extra 2 hours.
Shout outs to my lady, of course, Miss Dashe. She knows what's up.
R&B only, March 15th.
R&B only dates are out there. Y'all go check them out.
Get your tickets, free promo,
Yeah.
free
And
promo.
Too bad they just missed out on the discount prices.
Oh, I already
Ooh.
snagged mine.
Yeah.
I didn't buy mine because I know I get off work at 9. Where is it going to be at this time?
House of Blues.
Yeah.
House of Blues. Oh, you going?
I plan on going.
You plan on going?
I plan on
As long
going.
as
Take
it's
your
not
lady
at
with
the
you.
other
I'm
place.
telling you.
Yes, definitely.
Dude, and fellas, if you're going to R&B only as a single man, you don't walk out with a woman that night. I don't know what to tell you.
At least a number, my G. Or
I don't
dance.
know what to tell you, man.
Like,
They're
you gotta
playing,
dance.
They're playing R&B music, and there's alcohol.
You got to be dusty. That's why. That's the reason.
Dusty.
You dusty.
You gotta be dusty.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's funny.
Hey, I couldn't agree even anymore. You
That's
gotta be
funny
dusty
as
as hell. Anything else, Easy?
Oh my God. I'm officially gonna be in the Bay for the R&B only show on the 22nd.
Okay,
Hey.
for our shout out to our Bay Area listeners, man.
Yeah.
I see y'all. Y'all
Yeah.
strong out there.
Shout out to y'all, man.
Y'all strong out there in the Bay, man. We
I
do
might have
our
to wear-
analytics.
might
I'm
have
like,
to wear the
God
logo.
damn.
See if they fuck with a nigga. Like,
Hey,
Yeah, you gotta put the shirt out on one time.
I'm gonna wear it at the show.
right?
Like, yo, if you get one of those things, man, I'll feel accomplished. I think we all
I'ma
feel
record it and
accomplished.
send it
Like,
to y'all.
yo, where's your stickers at, man? Where's your merch?
Right.
Yeah.
I have the business
Coming
cards on deck.
You stupid gambit.
All right.
Oh, I did want to invite y'all to the museum show on the 9th. They're gonna have Makeda Dread and then the guy that does the Kumba Fest, and they're
Okay.
gonna have another artist.
Dahan?
Yes.
Yeah, Jahan.
Yeah.
I was actually back in my little thespian days. I was like on the play.
Oh
His
wow,
post, yeah.
we got to see the picture. You got to pull up the picture. You got to show the receipts. But we're doing the show from 6 to 9, and then the museum is giving me a great opportunity to bring together 15 artists to have a woman named Dinah Williams do a private artist development workshop for them. So Dashe is going to be a part of it. I'm trying to get Preston and his sister to be a part of it. I picked out like maybe 10 other artists, but shoot, if y'all know somebody else, I'm trying to fill up like 2 more slots. This week. So that's going to be the day of, but the nighttime from 6 to 9, everybody's invited. It's a free event. Come out and support the museum.
All right. Send us that link.
I'm gonna be in Chicago. I come back the next day too. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do that.
That's this week, right?
Yeah, that's this week.
Yeah.
Be safe in Chicago. Don't go get Subway.
Not at 2 a.m.
Don't look for footlongs at 2 a.m. in the blistering cold.
I hate your wordplay, Marco, because I don't be understanding if you direct.
It's part of my charm. What can I say?
Right, and me being the guy I am, I live in the gutter. I live in the gutter, dude.
Hey man, it's all subjective.
You can get a 6-inch.
Ease on down the road.
Oh man.
All right, Miss Nessa, aka Blasian Mommy.
The meatball marinara.
What?
Huh?
Shout out to all my Aquarians. You know, it's officially Aquarius season.
Trash.
Shout out to J. Cole, who is not trash.
I just felt good with you. I had to spice it up.
Who we were
Pisces
talking about
gang.
last Monday, and I completely forgot to say happy birthday because we were too busy talking about him. So I totally forgot to actually include the happy birthday there.
Such an Aquarius move.
You said what?
Such an Aquarius move.
What, to forget?
How you gonna
stuff?
forget the man's birthday?
Hey, we were talking about him, so that was good enough for me. What you call it? There's a lot of Aquarians like within this past week that just had birthdays, so it's ridiculous. Shout out to Sheena for coming with me on tour. Shout out to everybody that wished a girl a happy birthday. Cause yeah, I feel like I'm just nobody until my birthday comes around. All of a sudden, all these people come out the woodworks. Happy birthday! I'm like, man, we don't even talk. If y'all don't knock it off.
So you didn't get no DMs.
know you like that.
No hey stranger DMs. No hey big head DMs.
No, just happy birthdays.
Oh, okay.
Like, let me treat you out to lunch.
Not
to
yet.
some food.
Not yet. Oh, someone did send me $50 on PayPal. Shout out to you.
Oh wow.
Because I did put that on there. I was like, every year I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I accept any type of birthday treatment, blah blah blah.
Okay.
But
I wonder how my girlfriend would feel
Since we
about
on the
that.
subject of birthdays and Aquarius season, shout out to my Uncle Keith. He's an Aquarius. And my cousin Jamal, aka Mizzo. Yeah, their birthdays are around Super Bowl, like yours. So
Yeah, my birthday, every single time it falls on Super Bowl, like I'm just like, don't nobody care. That's what's on Facebook. It shows like, oh, this person's birthday. I'm like, oh shit, let me just shoot her a happy birthday. I was like, man,
it's like you at a Super Bowl party. Everybody like, shh.
Right? Exactly.
The game's playing.
But yeah, shout out to, I think that's it.
All right. My shout out. Well, one, I do want to wish my barber. He's a Rams fan. He's going through it right now.
Oh.
Keep your head up, Kay. You know, maybe next year.
At least y'all division champs. You know, y'all could take that, I guess.
You know, L.A. I mean, I feel sorry for the city of L.A., the Dodgers.
I feel sorry for St. Louis.
Yeah, the Dodgers
The Rams
lost the
left
World
and
Series.
now they was in the Super Bowl.
At the expense of what, Boston? And then now they lost to another Boston team in football. So it is what it is. Boston's
that is
kicking y'all
trash.
ass. better luck next year. But my shout out is go to Marshawn Lynch, Beast Mode, man. If you guys haven't been doing your Googles, Beast Mode has been opening and creating black businesses within the Oakland area. And while he's doing that, he's combating gentrification by buying property in the Oakland area.
Nice.
So,
Return of the Black Wall Street.
Yeah, so Marshawn, salute to you, brother, out there. Salute to our Bay Area listeners, because y'all thick out there, man. It made me feel some kind of way. I'm like, oh, shit. I got more listeners in the Bay and San Diego, but I'm not going to complain. I am very grateful, and I know how San Diego is when it comes to supporting their own, but I'm not going to take the whiny, the whiny route. I'm just going to keep doing me, and whatever happens, happens. The chips fall where they may, and I'm going to take it away to our guy, Real J. Rhyming accidentally.
Real J, check out the Holyfield. Just live your life to the fullest. That's all I got to say.
All right, man. So, and before, before we're done, make sure you subscribe to the show. You can find us anywhere from Apple Podcasts to Spotify to SoundCloud or any other Google Play. Yeah, wherever you guys prefer to listen to podcasts, we're there. And if we're not, let us know so we could get in there.
I'm sorry, Google Play Music.
No, it's Google Podcasts now. They
really?
Yeah. Oh, damn.
I mean, I've listened to us through the Google Play Music.
Oh, really? Tight.
Yep.
Make sure you like us on Facebook. I know we're getting a couple of new likes. Shout outs to that. Shout outs to Twitter, even though we ain't got that much followers, but still shout out to Twitter. Instagram, I think that's where we're the most lit on Instagram. Yeah, so go ahead.
All the traffic go through there.
Yeah, so basically follow us on Instagram. We like to drop memes and make you laugh and all that other shit. And just keep saying it. Patreon. Y'all want some extra content? Hit us up on www.patreon.com/thejigisup, and we have our tiers. You can look it up, or if you just want to go ahead and donate just $1 on the Patreon, that's fine with us too. But we're gonna drop some extra dope content. We're trying to get a merch out here, and we're gonna go on tour eventually. I don't care what city it is. If you're there, you want us there, we're gonna be there.
I think we were talking about working on doing our hosting a live one, right?
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah, if you want to host a live podcast, like for maybe day ones, maybe an invite only to like hardcore listeners and stuff like that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But I noticed lately, especially once we get people involved in, especially with my NSA and stuff, people are like, oh, yeah, I should be on your guys' show and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay.
We've been doing this for 3 years.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I mean, that's how it is. I mean, and it's human nature. People like to to hear themselves.
No, which is fine. But I'm saying to do it live, I feel like that would be so fitting.
I think the NSA should. Well, I mean, it is your segment, but my suggestion would be probably we could find a way to make an interactive game to get the audience into it.
Yeah.
Or trivia questions or something like that. But we'll think about it. We still gotta finish. We gotta decide when we're gonna do our photo shoot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we still gotta work on that. But that's behind the scenes.
End of the month, I guess, because you're not here next week. I'm not here the following week. I'll go back on tour. Fuck. Damn.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Tennessee.
Oh.
All right. Shout out to Young Buck, 36 Mafia, Yo Gotti, Young Dolph. Shout outs to them.
Isaiah Rashad.
Oh yeah, Isaiah Rashad.
No.
Hey, you from Tennessee, man. Arrested Development,
Take
me to another.
That was my jam.
Can you help me? Oh man, we're just all over the damn place. We can be silly, deep, profound, but that's a part of us, and that's what we like to do. So yeah, man. So yeah, definitely. So if you enjoy listening to this podcast as much as we love making it, because we do what we love and love what we do, and if you're not being your motherfucking self, you know what I gotta say. The jig is up. And we out.